I like how like colorful these walls
Are you recording on yours?
Like, yeah. Some nice depth here.
I went a little crazy during COVID.
It's like every color.
Literally,
Just painting all the walls.
27 colors in my house.
That's awesome.
It's
I love
really
it.
smart.
Remember,
I love
talk
it.
like into the mic.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Why?
Because then they can actually hear. Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Like, all right, Anthony, start talking.
That's the funny thing too.
All right, go.
Using her house as the studio. Using her house as a studio, it kind of makes it to where it's like, hey, you want to come over to a house and record this?
Yeah.
There's no actual studio that we have yet.
Yeah.
No, this is cool though.
I
You,
think
you,
it's
you have
cool.
roommates? Is
I have
that
one.
okay?
Yeah.
Nice. Are they just? You're just like, don't come in.
Yeah.
Come-
He'll come in and he'll
Stay
like,
out of here.
he'll turn his car on and it's so
You're
loud
like,
too. It's so
yeah.
loud.
There's,
no, we're
uh,
recording right now.
Mercedes AMG.
Yeah.
So it's like when it
Ooh.
turns
Oh,
on,
that's
it's like
like-
the
It's like a jet.
We're
That's
like,
so
okay,
nice.
hold for car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
But I don't want to stop him. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Anthony, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing
good.
Yeah. I haven't seen you guys in. When's the last time I saw you? I saw you.
So the only time, from my knowledge, that we have
Mhm.
officially like met
Mhm.
was at your premiere for the
Yes,
movies.
yes.
I knew of you.
Oh yeah, that's the only time we actually in person. I guess we just talked.
Like I've known
So-
of you from every one of my friends that have been on your set. We like John Penne.
Mhm.
Obviously, he's a big person with you guys.
Yeah.
Let's see who else do we have? Evelyn.
Mhm.
Shoot, what was Love Letters to You? Clara.
Clara. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Clara?
Yeah,
Oh, nice, okay.
Her so she does some stuff with Arizona Fashion Week, and
Oh,
I was
okay,
doing
gotcha.
some stuff with Arizona Fashion Week. So
Nice,
I was like, oh shoot,
you're just like, I know all these people,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen you like at all. Like,
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
yeah, I
We
was
just keep
like,
like missing
yo.
each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
in passing. Yeah.
how do you guys know each other though?
I think I don't even know if we really met, but because you were on A Most Passionate Death, you like
Yeah.
worked on like the
Really?
big,
Yeah, I
Like,
was B
party
cam
scene?
for Stacy for one day on the final day,
Yeah.
which I love doing. I love day playing on the final day because then everyone's like so happy,
yeah.
and I just get to come for the party.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I remember seeing you for sure, but I think I was just like, I don't know if we talked at all.
No,
then.
no, we didn't.
Yeah.
You were busy, and I didn't want to just be like, "Hey, I'm in
Hey, what's up?
shooting." Yeah.
No, I'm sure I looked so stressed. I was very stressed
Yeah.
for sure.
No,
but-
you didn't look stressed. You were busy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then we met up like for a meeting because
Yeah,
you
for
wanted to help.
coffee,
producing something, and then I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was this? Did I miss?
It was like
this
2 years ago. Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
a
it was
while
for
ago.
it was for Eschaton. It was
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like probably like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you wrote all those movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious about your writer brain then because I can't write. I can't do like screenwriting for shit.
Uh-huh.
I can do a good synopsis. It's just like that's how we did Spark, the film that me and her did.
Mm-hmm.
But like I can do synopsises
Mhm.
like no other. I'll like have a dream
Yeah.
or I'll just like daydream or just get lost in space for a little bit
Yeah.
and I'll write a really good synopsis. But I'm so indecisive when it comes to the small details like character names
Yeah.
or details or
Yeah.
exactly like okay, what decision did they have to make for character to go from this to this part?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't do screenwriting.
Yeah.
That is the hardest part.
Yeah. I have to hire someone. Like I had Adriana's the one that actually wrote Spark.
That she was telling me. Yeah.
But-
she's awesome. She's awesome.
Oh,
She's great.
She is awesome.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
her. Yeah, I want to have her on, but she's also a very busy person
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
with
Oh,
her
yeah.
own acting
And she
career and
lives
stuff.
far, right? She's
She
pretty.
does,
She
yeah.
lives near me. Over,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So yes.
So she
so
lives
far for you,
yeah,
but
she
you're
lives
like,
far from here, but
yeah.
closer
Far
to
from
me.
me.
Yeah.
I went to school for screenwriting.
Oh really?
Did you? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I knew that.
I'm just too busy though. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
You're
does
like-
take a lot of time.
It does,
Yeah.
yeah. I always offer, and he's like, "You're not gonna do it." I'm like, "You're right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. I probably won't.
It's one of those things
Hey.
that I feel like it just has to be like I'm just gonna take a couple hours to just bust it out. Like I can write like my synopsises aren't like the Netflix 2 sentences one.
Yeah.
They're usually like the
Pretty
full
long.
story.
Yeah.
Like they could be their own story. It's
Mhm.
just the details aren't there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious though about your process though with like writing because each one like you
Mhm.
had this premiere with 3 or 4 was it four films?
Yeah.
I
4
wanted to go so
films.
bad.
I was
It's
so happy I
fine.
got to see it. Yeah, you missed out. You
It's
really
fine.
did miss
I
out.
forget what I was doing. I had to do something else. You
You're
know?
just hanging out.
Yeah, just watching Netflix,
Yeah,
just like-
she was like,
Yeah.
nah, no, it's all right.
Yeah. There's no way.
Each one of those stories though, like not like they were all different genres,
Mhm.
all completely separate stories. Like it wasn't. It would have made sense if it was like a sequel type of thing.
Yeah.
But each one of those stories was completely different.
Yeah.
It looked so different too.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was so cool.
Yeah, and that was kind of like that was definitely the whole like idea of it, because the main idea was like we were kind of coming at it from more of like a actor point of view of like we just want like a very diverse reel basically, and it's hard to get a lot of like good quality films in your reel.
Yeah.
Either like the sound's bad or like the lighting's bad, just like
Right.
so we wanted to play like different roles and different stories. So that's kind of like why they're so diverse. But
Cool. I've always wanted to do that for actors.
Yeah.
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 Because like having a reel where you like plan a storyline
Mhm.
is so much cooler.
Yeah. So
What's your history of film? Because you didn't serve, did you?
no.
Okay. For some reason, I thought there was.
Dude, you're
some
like
sort
not
of-
the first person that said that. Like everyone always, I was like, I'm always like, what is it about me that just?
Yeah,
screams
I don't know. There was some.
military?
I was at the premiere, and there was something that made me think for some reason you served. But
Uh-huh.
I'm curious, just like about you getting into film completely,
Mhm.
because not only are you a screenwriter, you direct too, right? Or what all? What all is your?
Yeah, technically, I think I've only like on paper directed A Most Passionate Death.
Okay.
But I feel like I definitely do like a lot of directing duties as a producer.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to like share because I'm like I just like the main thing is I want to act, but it's so hard when you are writing something and you like what exactly and especially just like I think for me the frustration was like the whole reason I got into producing and stuff like that is just people would always say like we should do this and then like not do anything, or like people
Yeah.
would have an idea and like start it and then like years go by and they're like like we'll still work on it, and everyone gets caught up in their own like day
Yeah.
to day. So for me it was just like, well, if no one else is gonna do it, like I'll just do it myself.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so when I was in high school, that was the first time that I took like an acting class, and it was just like by chance that it was between like pottery and acting, and pottery hated pottery, so I transferred to acting, and I loved it. And I've always like grown up like watching movies. My dad like loves movies, and he would take me to the theater every weekend. And then so I just like fell in love with it, and my initial like dream was to be a football player, and I had like a million injuries like in high school.
Really?
I fractured my hip,
Oh.
tore my ACL, dislocated my wrist,
Ouch.
all these things. So it was just like bedridden, and like my dad gave me like a bunch of books about like the law of attraction and just like kind of following your dreams kind of stuff. So it got me in that mindset, and then I took this acting class, and I was like, no, I think this is like what I want to do. And then I told them that, and they were like, I don't know if that's really the route you should go. Because I really wanted to go to film school, and they were just like, absolutely not. Like, if you want to do that, like, pay for it yourself. Like, we're not going to help at all. Caused a lot of fights for sure, but I think it worked out. Like, I went to ASU and studied finance, and then minored in film, which I feel like I like learned a little bit, but at least like I just like kept it like I didn't
Right.
forget about it. And then so once I graduated, that was frustration. Like I wanted to be in more movies, and just like there was not a lot of good movies to like even audition for here and stuff like that. So in my head I was just like, I'll just write my own, and like we'll figure it out. And yeah, so like all the money that I make from my day job kind of goes into the film stuff. So
I love that.
yeah, instead of like it feels like, because I feel like a lot of times too, like when you get like a day job that's like not in like the industry, like outside of the film industry and
Right.
stuff like that, it's so easy to like get complacent with like, oh, this is comfortable though, like money's okay, like I'm just gonna stay here. But yeah, so I'm still trying to go towards the film round. So yeah.
I love the way that you were kind of talking about how just pulling the trigger like that,
Mhm.
because that is one of the biggest things out here. That's one of the reasons why, like for what we do,
Mhm.
it's literally like I approached Casey with one idea, and I'd never been on like that position for a film.
Yeah.
I've never been a producer. I've never been anything other than an actor for a film.
Mhm.
And so I had no idea what it looked like from step 1 to step 10
Yeah.
of like, okay, how do we do this? I just knew that I'm like, just fucking do something. It can't be that hard.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Just gotta figure it out.
Get a story,
Yeah.
get it recorded somehow,
Yeah.
and then boom. and then figure out the details later, which obviously I know now is
Yeah.
not like how you're supposed to do
Figure out the
it.
details, yeah.
But it's also like,
You gotta learn somehow.
yeah, it's a learning
also,
journey.
Yeah,
As long as you have the people to help and support you along the way, and
Yeah.
you can like find your teams and stuff.
yeah,
Like I love that kind of just like, well, you didn't let the possibility of becoming an actor
Mhm.
deter you from doing it. It was more of like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself.
yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much like what we ended up doing. Like, well, there's no big movies that are out here. There's no big studios that are out here that
Yeah.
are over here making these things happen. So let's just do it ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, what I liked about you too is you paid your crew.
Oh
Like, you were gonna
yeah.
pay me quite a bit too.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that is so cool that you're using your own money
Mm.
to make these films and you're going to supply us some income too.
Yeah.
And so like that's different because I work on a lot of free stuff and I'm totally down to do that. But
Mhm.
that's what like sets you apart too is like you're down to take care of us and that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and I think it's cool. Like you were saying, like you still do free stuff. I think it's cool when people, because like I obviously know like people like this is like your day job, right? Like you like so it like it's really taken a lot out of your like livelihood to like do something for free, even though like you're passionate about it and stuff like that. Like, but like I love when people because there's definitely a difference. I've definitely worked with people that are there, and you can very much tell like they're just there to get paid. And
Right.
You're just like. You don't want to be around those people. You're just like, you obviously don't want to be here. Like, you're kind of making the vibe weird for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool, like, being around people where they just love what they do. And then, like, the fact that they're getting paid on it, it's like, they're,
Right.
yeah, it's
So
like,
grateful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on top of it, yeah. So,
That's how I felt getting into it. Like if you would have asked me even 5 years ago,
mhm.
what did I think I was gonna be doing for a career? Acting was nowhere near it. the
Really?
list.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I feel so old. I'm 32, everybody.
But yeah, no, I had no interest in being in front of the camera like that.
Mhm.
I moved down here and was working in finance.
Yeah.
And I thought my career was going to maybe be like photographer or
Yeah.
maybe videographer,
Mhm.
maybe YouTuber. I don't know, something
Yeah.
like along that. And
Yeah.
so like I was literally just sitting in a parking lot outside of the bank that I was working for, just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck am I doing with my life right now?
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
one
yeah.
of those types of instances. And I was on the
Yeah.
phone with one of my best buddies who I
Mhm.
went to high school with,
Mhm.
and he was just like, you know how we used to like watch those shows together and just create the most craziest storylines and
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm Italian, so we'd be like, okay, well, what if like one day we go to Italy and find out that I'm accidentally a descendant of a mafia guy, and they come up to me and like, hey, by the way, here's the keys to the kingdom type of thing. Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's
yeah.
from Iceland, or it's like, oh,
Yeah.
and then we have the Viking and the mafia dude, and like
Yeah.
kind of creating like random storylines like
That
that.
sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, literally.
Like, well, like our show was Shameless. We
Yeah.
used to watch Shameless religiously.
I've never seen that show.
Me neither.
Yeah, never seen it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I heard it's great though. I heard it's great.
You guys have-
I don't know,
You heard it's great.
You guys have never seen Shameless.
No.
It is one of the best shows.
It just, I think because it came out, I think when I was in like high school, maybe.
Probably.
And I was just like, this is intense. Like, this is
Yeah.
too much for me.
That's what, honestly, though.
Same with Euphoria. I'm like, this is a lot.
That
Yeah.
one.
like looks good, but like,
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
Euphoria, I couldn't get past like episode 5 because it was just too much for me. Like,
Yeah.
it was overstimulating. It was
Yeah.
just, I don't know. But Shameless, I think that one for us,
Mhm.
we related to the characters a
Gotcha,
lot in
gotcha,
that.
yeah.
Like the broken
Yeah.
home, the alcoholic parent or something, or
Yeah.
having to take care of. Like we related so much to the characters on such a deep level
Yeah.
that it just became like how me and him bonded.
Yeah.
And so
That's
like
so cool,
that
though, yeah.
was our thing.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was like the weirdest fate happened. One of the coaches out here,
Mhm.
her son is one of the main characters on the show.
Oh, shit.
And so
Dang.
it was like almost a full circle moment because he was
Yeah.
also one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And then I go to this acting coach
Yeah.
and I find out like,
And you're like, hey, you know.
I was like, wait, so your son is one of
Yeah,
my
you're like,
favorite
I love
characters.
him.
Yeah, I was like, yo,
That's
no
awesome.
fucking way.
Yeah.
But no, like he was like, why don't you try acting? And I
Mhm.
was just like, I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
usually a more behind the camera kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm not in front of the camera. He's like, you never know until you just try it.
So you do it, yeah.
Go for a couple auditions,
Yeah.
see if you like it.
Yeah.
Just fucking try it.
Yeah.
There's no harm in whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
fine, okay, I'll give it a shot. And there was DurantCom. I don't know if you know of DurantCom.
I don't think so.
It's like a free casting website here.
Okay, okay.
It's mostly just like student films, like little tiny projects and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I found one, and I did a couple of auditions, and that's when I finally learned how hard auditions actually were.
Oh yeah.
So like, oh yeah, we have an audition here, and I was literally in my car or whatever, just like doing this audition. I didn't know any audition etiquette.
You're just
Yeah, I was like sitting there with like my phone propped up on the steering wheel, and they're like, okay, do that. I didn't read any of the lines.
Oh
I
my
didn't memorize
God.
anything. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, here's what you're gonna be doing. You're back like this. I'm like,
You're like, I'm in the car
okay.
right now.
They're like, act like you just ate some spicy food. I'm like, I'm like, who the fuck is watching me? And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like in the
crazy.
parking lot,
That's
just like doing
hilarious.
this. But I had no training, so I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know how these auditions are supposed to go.
yeah.
And so I'm just sitting there. Obviously, I did not get
Did
that
not get
film
it.
at all. There was another one that I did the same thing, but it was like this kid who's just like a random ASU film,
Yeah.
and he casted me. I'm like, I just learned my first movie. And
Yeah.
I'm freaking out, super happy. It was not a good production.
Not a good one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The kid filmed the entire thing on his phone. I
Oh,
guess his
sick.
whole crew dropped out the night before.
Oh, lovely.
So- But I also met my other best friend on that set,
yeah.
which he like helped change the entire trajectory of my career.
Yeah. What was
So-
he doing? Was he acting also?
Yeah,
or
yeah, he
okay,
was
okay.
he was one of the other characters. I think it was like me and him were similar characters against
Mhm.
another person.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm on a shitty set, but I'm not gonna let that deter. I'm at least gonna network a little bit,
Yeah.
talk to some people, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe these other guys have a little bit more experience.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see what's
yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
And then since then, I got that, but then I landed an actual like decently good
Mhm.
production,
Mhm.
and that was what solidified. I was like,
You're like, I
people
like
get
this.
paid for this shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's yeah.
I'm like-
honestly, it is crazy. It's so fun.
Yeah, especially like when you get your first paid gig, you're like, I'm paid to fuck off.
Yeah.
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 I'm
yeah.
paid to be around cool people,
Yeah.
to do fun shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
this is a full career.
Yeah.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Which I feel like is like it's an interesting because I feel like people assume, or not like assume, but I think it's like a very like big like thought that like work is supposed to be like not fun. Like,
Yeah.
like if you're
Yeah.
getting paid, it's supposed to like suck.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Right.
we all like grew up like with that like the 9 to 5 where you're just like like it sucks, but like you get paid for it and like that kind of dynamic. So
Right.
like doing something that like you enjoy and then also getting paid for it, you're like this shouldn't be right, which I feel like is a weird. I don't know. It's just weird that we all like think that way, where you're like, oh, this is actually like fun and
Yeah.
I'm getting paid. This isn't right. But I feel like it's like that should be right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it also it comes scary with the whole thing with people say like don't ever turn your hobbies into careers
Mm.
or like what you
Mhm.
love into careers because then you lose that. But
I have lost that a little bit, to
yeah,
be
Really?
honest. Yeah, because I've been doing this for so long
Yeah.
that I haven't made my own short film or any of my own stuff since 2015.
Oh dang, really?
Yeah, like I've just worked for other people.
Mhm.
And I have stories of my own. Like I haven't done anything myself. And
Yeah.
so that's
Hmm.
that bothers me sometimes. It
Really?
does, yeah.
why do you think? Because I know that like obviously you have some time in between jobs. Why haven't you just pulled the trigger?
There's been a lot of times where I like built teams over the years and then like everyone kind of just like disintegrated multiple times, and so that kind of like jaded me a little bit on building another team.
Yeah.
And then now I have like a bunch of people that would be willing to help me, which would be great, but I just like haven't had time
That makes
recently,
sense.
you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And it's just weird because like when it is my job, like when I have a day off, I want to sleep, like because I work so
Yeah.
hard like all the time that I just don't have the time for it, which
Yeah.
I
Or
should
the
change.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The energy
Yeah.
for it, you
It's
know?
like-
yeah.
With these kind of jobs,
Mhm.
it's not just like it's like a little 4 to 6 hour thing with paid 15-minute breaks every 2 hours and a big long
No.
lunch. It's like most of the time
Yeah,
when
it's
you're
like
on these sets,
10, 12
13,
12,
yeah.
13 hours minimum.
yeah,
with
12 to
lunch.
18-hour things with like one
Yeah.
lunch, and like
Mhm.
your break isn't even a break. It's
Yeah.
you're waiting until you're called back. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly how it is for like behind the
For
camera.
like we don't get breaks. We can't
Yeah.
even go to the bathroom half the time. Like
Yeah.
literally, I'm not even joking.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But like even as an actor, like your break isn't a break. It's not your time to fuck off. It's
Yeah,
your
you're
time
waiting.
is not to be on camera, but you're waiting for that director to come back. Like, all right, you and like you can't just be like, oh, give me like 10 minutes to go do this.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we need you right now.
Yeah.
So it's like you're always on that verge.
It's like an athlete where you just like always have to be warm, but then after a while you're like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
even playing, but I'm like, I'm supposed to like be ready like
Yeah.
all the time.
Like in baseball, like they have the pitchers. It's like, oh, they're all just fucking off. It's like, no, this pitcher is literally throwing the entire game.
Yeah.
If he's not over there, he's behind the dugout
Yeah.
practicing his pitching and stuff.
Yeah.
And doing that. So it gets to be, I don't know, it gets tiring,
Yeah.
but it's also,
So fun.
the
So fun,
fulfillment.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure the fulfillment that you had at that premiere was
Oh my God, I
insane.
bet.
Like it makes all the work
Yeah.
that led up to that worth it, to get to see all the people.
Yeah.
Watching
It
Yeah.
was a
movie.
packed house too.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. Yeah, it was a lot
Yeah.
more people than I was expecting for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, it is like but it's a weird thing too because I feel like every time you finish something and then you see it, like at least for me, like I'm always like what's like the next thing? Like it's so hard to be like it's so hard to like live in the I don't know because even like watching them all like that the premiere for specifically was really like awesome. But like now if I like see it or anything, I'm just like I already did that. Like that's
Yeah.
it's in the past. Like I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
I have
know.
a question. Were you
Yeah.
able to enjoy the night though?
I was.
Or were
I
you
was.
critical of like, oh, I should have done different things?
Yes and no.
I know exactly where you're leading
Yeah.
with
Yes
this.
and no, because also like the couple weeks leading up to it, like we were like so much just like last minute edits and stuff like that, where I was just like so exhausted from that. But even there, like yes and no. I think like after like I saw my friends and like my family, like I was able to like just enjoy like the moment a little bit more, and then like
Good.
a couple of drinks in, for sure, I was definitely more like, all right, I'm just having fun now.
Good.
But yeah. Well, actually, okay, funny story. I guess not really funny, but just I was it was during one of the films. I think it was during Eschaton of the Gambit, and in my head, and I told Andrew, who's like the director for him, I was like, "Is it not like very loud?" Like, and we did like test screenings like the whole time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, it's super loud." But I was just like that drunk where I was like, "Am I not hearing this right? Like, what's going?" And I was like, "All right, whatever." I'm just gonna like.
Well, I feel like that's the perfectionist syndrome, as
Yeah.
I call it. Is like you want to make sure everything is like to the T. And
Yeah.
so like even on here, I'll like it looks fine, everything is 100% fine, but I'm like, wait, there's like a little shadow here, or like
Yeah.
there's a little thing here. So it's like I feel like it's that kind of perfectionist syndrome of like,
Yeah.
is it loud enough? It's like, dude, it's like blowing out the speakers.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
fine.
People get like frustrated with me because they're like, dude, like, because I feel like I'm the only one like in like our little like group that's like, I like everything is just like it's not good enough,
Right.
and everyone's like, no, it's good, and I'm just like, no, but like this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, and I'm just like, and they're like, the running joke is just like, are you ever happy?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, I mean, yes, but like also, it's like it could be better. So like, I don't know, it's definitely a balance, but
You gotta trust
Yeah.
your vision though, because that's like what your team should be doing. Because like it's your story, and so if we could get as close to the point where you feel happy about it, that's
Yeah.
what it's supposed to be like, and
Yeah.
that's when it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
But because it is your story, you are always going to have that perfectionist type of thing with like,
Yeah.
you have a vision of how it wants to be in your head. And if it's not exactly like that,
Yeah.
you want the audience to love it. You want it to be the best thing possible.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're going to want every little thing to be as perfect as possible.
Yeah.
But that's where it's like you're only human. You
Yeah.
don't have these multi-million-dollar budgets that Hollywood has that has the ability to be like, oh, well, if this thing isn't 100%, we can edit it in post.
Yeah.
I
Or,
mean, even the multi-million-dollar budgets, we still screw up. Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, like you see it all the time, and you're just like, oh, dang. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
the
just
more
like-
money, the more problems. Literally, 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I just did a Western. I talk about it all the time. So sorry. But
He's like, "I've had
literally,
it."
we didn't have a million, but we had a lot more than all the other projects I've ever done.
Mhm.
And like, we just had problem after problem after problem. But like, you kind of have to just like release it when you're on set. Like, you have this idea of what you want it to look like, and then
Yeah.
you get there, and like, you just have what you have.
Yeah.
And so like, you just try to make it as good as possible. And
Yeah.
now that I've seen parts of the edit, I'm like, holy crap, this is a miracle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
crap. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I bet literally that shot with the explosion,
Oh yeah.
that must have been stressful.
That was It was
like,
definitely
get it
stressful.
right.
Even just because it was literally we had one take to do it.
Yeah.
And when we like me and John started like running, it like was supposed to go off at a certain time, and it
Mm.
like didn't.
oh,
So we
shit.
like kept running, And then when it went off, we were like closer than we thought. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely stressful.
It was
for sure.
scary
Yeah.
when you do that. You
Was
only
there,
have
like-
one take.
Was there like a lot of like permitting and stuff to be able to get that, or
No.
did you just kind of like say fuck it and go out?
I didn't have any either. We burnt a house down.
Oh, dang.
Literally,
You're
we
like,
built
"Oh,
a
guy
house
died,
and
but it's
burnt
fine."
it down. We just went in the middle of the desert. We had shovels. We had 6 shovels
Yeah.
and 6 like fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
And we just had everyone.
Did Chris do it? Was Chris the
Yeah, it was
one
Chris.
that, yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, also thank you for like just connecting me with him. But yeah, he was great. But yeah, he like slept overnight with like all the explosives,
Yeah.
like just in his car,
No,
like
he's
guarding
so
him.
happy about it. Yeah.
That sounds like the most dangerous thing in the
Dude,
world.
Oh,
Just,
he's
like
a funny guy.
one little
Yeah.
spark of something, and that entire like you have the explosives plus the car.
Yeah,
That sounds like a Final Destination moment waiting to happen.
He was our security guard on our set. He would
Heck
stay
yeah.
in the RV every night on our set.
that's kind of
Yeah.
nice. Heck
Yeah, and he had all the gunpowder and everything for our
Yeah, no,
guns,
he's so cool, and
Yeah.
he like you could tell he like really loves it. Like when he gets to, like he starts talking about it, and you could just see like the love in his eyes for
Oh
it.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
He's done it for a long time.
yeah. He
he's
was
like a
showing me all
stunt
his like
coordinator.
reels and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's cool.
So
Yeah,
which
awesome.
which of the films was the first one that you did?
Eschaton.
Eschaton,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious where the ideas and like the writing, like of the start to finish, because was that like your first film that you did?
This year, yes. So Most Passionate Death was the first one that I've like produced, or like
Okay.
directed and like written. Which like that one. Okay, going to the Most Passionate Death. That one, like I love mysteries, so I was trying to write a mystery. Dude, tough first project to like write, like just
Yeah.
like, especially in a short film format. Like I was like trying to fit all these like ideas into like a really short amount of time, and I was just like, after we finished it, I was like, this is terrible. I hate it. Like the quality was great, but just like the writing, like but lots of learning experience
Yeah.
from it.
Was that a feature or short?
It was a short,
Okay.
but when I wrote it, it was like 60 pages. So like it was for sure. So we cut out like I think I cut out like 40 pages of it.
Holy shit!
And so yeah, but it was all mystery. So like then the mystery gets condensed. So you're
Yeah.
just like that kind of loses the whole mystery vibe of it. But Eschaton, that one actually came from John. So John's like one of my best friends.
Oh, I love John.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's gonna be on too.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's such a great guy. But he had like an idea. He was like, I really want to like it'd be cool if like we made this like zombie movie with like you and me are brothers.
Hmm.
And so he just like came at it with that. And I was like, all right. And then so I just like wrote something and like showed it to him and he loved it. And so yeah, that's kind of basically where that came from. And I with the writing too, like I try to like weave like my own like personal experiences. So like I have like bits, and I think that one you can't really tell as much as like the love one. Like I have like actual like
Yeah.
drama love movies, which are like, oh, is this your life kind of thing? But with the Eschaton, yeah. So I don't know, just a lot of personal experiences in there too. So which is cool.
So with doing A Most Passionate Death, I don't think I've actually seen A Most Passionate Death.
Dude, you don't have to. I won't make you do that.
No, I mean, it seems like I love seeing people's like first thing because
yeah.
Spark is my first thing. I'm
Mm.
still proud of it, but I know for a fact I'm gonna be looking back in 3 years and be like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I actually thought this was a good idea or something, or like, why did I make that choice or
Yeah.
something? But it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
And like A Most Passionate Death for you was your step
Mhm.
into that world a little bit to kind of understand it. And I mean, you said like, it was your first credit as a producer,
Mm-hmm.
director, writer, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
From like start to finish, and especially leading into the other films,
Mhm.
what were like the biggest mistakes that you think that you made from that you slowly got to kind of like learn throughout all the other films?
I think the biggest one was so Most Passionate Death. I co-directed it with Levi,
Okay.
but we had another director like for the whole pre-production. Like he was going to direct it, and then like a week or two out, he was like, "I don't think I'm going to do it anymore." And I was like, "Oh, sick." So then I was like, "Well, then I guess like I'll do it." And then I asked Levi to do it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it," because he was like just producing, and he was like, "Yeah, I can direct it," but he didn't really like it was so last minute. He didn't like understand the story fully. So I was like I'll also direct it with you. And I think that was like it taught me you can't do everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that project I was like producing, I was a writer, I was like the lead actor, also directing, and it was just like too much. I felt like I couldn't give 100% in any certain lane. And I think slowly I've learned that. Like I think with like Eschaton, I was producing, but like still like maybe it was like like I said, like I like bleed into like doing some like directing duties, but it
Right.
like I think I'm learning to like just like kind of like let it go and just being like trusting the team and being
Yeah.
like, hey, like, because like at the end of the day, I want to be an actor. I don't want to be a director at all. I would love to be a producer and I would love to be a writer, but I don't want to be a director. So yeah, I think like just like letting go a little bit, I think is like a big thing because it's hard because especially like when you write something or like it's your
It's your baby.
yeah, it's your baby. You want it to be good.
Yeah.
So like you like kind of like try to do everything and it sometimes doesn't work in like a good in a good way. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like that's
That's
probably,
the
like,
thing
the
about
same.
projects, though, is like you hire people for their talent too, and so it evolves
Yeah.
from the script you made into like all these people come together and their creativity comes out too, and so that's the letting go part too, is letting
Yeah.
them like they could have an amazing idea
Yeah.
that you could have never imagined. And
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a lot of that too, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
and like I learned that not only just like in this industry, but in
Mhm.
business in general. Like the most successful people in business are the
Mhm.
ones that don't try to take everything on themselves.
Yes.
Like most high end CEOs
Mhm.
own the lowest percentage of the company
Mhm.
because they're like, I don't know marketing.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire someone for marketing. I don't know sales. I'm going to hire someone for sales. I
Yeah.
don't know or I don't know accounting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to do this. I'm going to do what I do best.
Mhm.
And then I kind of created my own little thing with like, I'll do
Yeah.
what I do best
Yeah.
and then delegate the rest
Yeah, no, 100%.
to the best.
Yeah. Have you read Ego is the Enemy? by chance?
It sounds familiar. I don't know if I've actually read it though.
It's by Ryan Holiday, but he talks about that. But he talks about specifically DeLorean. I think he used to work at Dodge, and then he opened up his own car manufacturing, like DeLorean.
Okay.
But that his issue was he couldn't do that. Like he was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna run it my way, and he was trying to do every single thing, and so like it just crashed and burned. As opposed to like just like like you just said,
Yeah.
like hiring like people to do certain things, and being able to like step back and be
Yeah.
like, all right, you guys like. I'm the overarching leader, but like you guys also are like leaders in your own
Yeah.
like.
I'm
areas,
hiring
so-
you because you can operate a camera way better than I
Exactly.
can. I'm hiring you because you know lighting way better than I can. I'm hiring
Exactly.
you because the way you write a script is better than like
Yeah.
I wanted to write Spark. I wanted to write all
Mhm.
these things, but I'm like, I know somebody can do this better, and
Mhm.
I would rather have the quality of something be better
Right.
and not be able to take all the credit for something,
Mhm.
rather than be like, this is all me, but it's shittier than it could have been
Yeah.
if I would have just been like, you know what? I'm gonna bring other people in. Like, I want to be the dumbest one in the room.
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
that's just listening to everyone, learning of like, oh, how do you do this? Like,
Yeah.
it's such. And I see a lot of filmmakers in Arizona doing that.
Mhm.
They try to take on every role themselves. The
Yeah,
amount of sets
yeah.
that I've been on, that's like maybe 3 people,
Yeah.
and the camera operator is also the director, who's also the sound operator, who's
Yeah.
also the lighting guy.
It's hard to find a good team though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've lost so many teams over the years that like again, like I haven't made my own stuff.
Yeah.
But when like my Western that I just produced, I got to bring in like everyone finally that
Yeah.
I have grown finally this
Yeah.
time. And so
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
that's what's hard. It's like you have to just do it yourself until you can find the right people.
Yeah.
But it's also being willing to do that, because a lot of people
Yeah.
they have that pride of like, this is my project.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to have my name on. Like, it's
Yeah.
different if you are open to it and you just can't find it, and it's like, okay, well, it's either you wait or you pull the trigger and then
Yeah.
just kind of do it, like
Mhm.
how I did with the my
Yeah.
other podcast. But it's also different if it's like, if people
For
are
sure.
offering help, if people are like, oh, I'm gonna be involved, it's like, I'm the writer. Okay, well, can I be the producer? I'm the producer.
Yeah.
Well, can I do? I'm that role too. And it's like,
You're like, all
okay,
right,
I'll just
awesome.
fuck off then.
Yeah, for
You're
real.
one person, dude. Relax. Yeah.
I
So-
get that though too, because it's like your vision though. So
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
this like balance you need to have with
Yeah.
everyone. You know?
I feel like that's like a thing that I struggle with definitely like daily because I feel like it's a balance also of like why, like what's your intent, like why like do you want to do these things, like is
Right.
it more so like your pride and your ego is like making you like no, like I know best,
yeah,
because like at the same time like I've never won an Oscar, so like I definitely don't know best.
right.
I definitely maybe like know my certain story the best because I wrote it, but like I definitely am not the best producer or like director, like anything like that. Or are you like, but like, yeah, but at the same time, like, or is it just not going to get done if you don't do it? So
Right.
it's like that, like, I don't know. So I definitely struggle with that, especially as a producer, because you're like, like, I don't want to like, I'm also like, I feel like sometimes I'm too nice and I'm just like, I don't want to like step on anyone's toes,
Right.
but at the same
Yeah.
time, like, sometimes
But it
you
is your
have
project,
to.
though, yeah.
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 That's how it is, though. I think the best teams, like, just kind of everyone's hands on deck. Like,
Mhm.
because there was one scene that I did that, like, I was so in awe of my team because there was a scene that everyone was like, we were holding a puppet
Mhm.
and like we had to like blow up a balloon that was
Yeah.
a head and then at the same time take a sack off at the same time someone was shooting it.
Oh, dang.
And so there's like 5 people like
Just
just
like-
holding
yeah.
everything, and we
That's
had to
awesome.
like get the camera right, and I had to pull
Yeah.
focus at the right time, and it was just like the hardest
That's
thing we've ever done in my
crazy.
entire life.
Yeah.
And it was.
But
just
then when
so
you do it,
cool.
you're like, yes.
Yeah,
like,
and like everyone, like the first AD was holding the puppet, and like
Yeah.
one of the actors was holding like the head of it,
That's
and like
so awesome.
so it was really cool. You just have to have the right team to
Yeah.
kind of execute these things.
yeah. When is that supposed to come out? Like, is
We're gonna edit it for like a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot of CGI stuff to do and like music licensing to make money for.
Did you produce it? Like who? Like
I
who's the
co-produced it.
Okay.
Yeah, the writer director and his brother were the main executive producers.
Okay.
They're Gus and Luke Halwerda.
Okay.
They like don't necessarily work in the industry out here. They
Mhm.
they travel a lot and do a lot of documentaries.
Okay.
But they're amazing. Like I have no idea how they find the money that they do.
Yeah.
Like they're just amazing.
You're like, I'm not
people.
gonna ask questions.
No, well, they got a lot of it from. They have a pretty notable podcast too, and
Yeah.
so they got a bunch of donations.
That's awesome.
And then from the documentaries that they've worked on, a lot of it's like notable scientists in the
Mhm.
world, and so
Oh,
they
interesting.
donated too.
Yeah.
And it's just wild how much money they got.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
They called me
Dang.
and I was like, I'm not a money person. Like if you give me the money, then I can make the project.
Yeah.
But like I'm not doing paperwork.
Yeah.
I can't do any of that
That's
stuff.
a lot of
So, like,
not fun stuff.
I'm listed as a producer, but I was more like a production manager.
Yeah.
Just crew member.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I get the credit, but I didn't do any of the work.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, that's
I
funny.
hired the crew and got the
Yeah,
gear,
which
but
is a
that's
huge
it.
part too, just to know who to hire and stuff like that's
Yeah,
huge for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
That's a big part. Like I had a person the other day because I told them that I was a co-producer on this film, and they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I'm like, okay, so I have to do this. Like,
yeah.
I'm naturally more of the business oriented person,
Yeah.
so I'm the connector.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, producing is probably going to be my thing because I talk to literally everyone that I meet. And
Yeah.
I always like try to bookmark like, okay, this person does this, or
Yeah.
this person's really good at this. I
Mhm.
love giving people opportunity for something.
Yeah.
I love being able to be that person that's like, you wanted a career in this, so I'm going to give you an opportunity for this
Yeah.
type of thing, or just whatever.
Mhm.
Like I for that one, I accidentally met this guy who owned a gym, and he also owned a pickleball court.
Yeah.
And so we're like, cool, we can use his
That's
pickleball
so
court.
cool.
Mhm.
And
That's
then
awesome.
like I did a commercial for a
Yeah.
theater, and then I was just randomly talking to the GM,
Yeah.
and then the next day I was like, hey, wait, we actually need one of the theaters for our scene. So I just
Yeah.
like reached out like, hey, can we like use one of the theaters? Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
come on by. So it's like
yeah.
those little connections, but
yeah.
it's doing that. But then there's like so much
Mhm.
analytical stuff behind it that I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, okay,
Yeah.
not my strong suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hard.
yeah.
That's why I'm behind the camera. I chose to not do like client commercials so I don't have to like interact with people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just come
fair,
in,
fair,
I
fair.
shoot, and then I hand off the footage and I go home. Like
Yeah, yeah, but it is like that's such a good skill that like you're like saying, because I feel like a lot of times people, even like with the Orpheum, like people are always just like, how did you do that? And we're like, you just talk to people.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, you just ask them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You reach out.
That's such a big thing though. But I feel like a lot of times like people either like or just like can't talk to people, don't want to talk to people.
Yeah.
But like just being able to like
You
talk
need
to people,
to.
that's huge. Yeah, that's awesome.
So with making your films, I'm kind of curious as to like, because you financed everything yourself pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which one costed the most? I'm kind of curious as to, because I know like how it was with Spark.
Yeah.
And like we did so much with so little
Yeah.
that like with the quality
Mhm.
that you guys were able to come out with a lot of your guys' films,
Mhm.
that looks like straight up like Hollywood level shit in a
thank
lot of them.
yeah.
The sound was impeccable.
Yeah.
The shots were impeccable. Like it looks like each one of these at least costed like 50 grand type of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, I know that you said you're in sales,
Uh-huh.
so obviously
I don't make
sales-
that much money.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah. I think Eschaton
Yeah.
was the most expensive. For sure, like actually like Chris and like the Explosion wasn't that much money.
Mhm.
Which was awesome. Like so I was like in my head, I was like, what could we do with more money? Like,
Yeah.
that's what we got for that. But it was it was a big crew. Some of the crew came in from El Paso, Texas, which is where I was born. and that's where Nick is from and where
Okay.
Andrew is from.
Yeah.
They just moved down here from there. So they knew a bunch of people from over there, and they were like, we have a really good crew down there. Like, they would be down to come. So just like paying for like some of like people to come over here. Just like the amount of people also, and then just shooting in the desert also. So like getting like an RV and just like stuff to like, where I was just like stressing. I'm like, oh, where are people gonna go pee? Like, I'm like just like little things like that. So I think that made it like super expensive. Yeah, and then also just like it being our first ones that we all like did together. I think like we just didn't know like how to best work with each other. So like we kind of overspent in places that like down the line we were like, oh, we probably don't need to like spend money here or there. But it's also like super cool. Like Nick and Andrew like were super down to like do these projects without being paid. They just like wanted like just like for the love of it and stuff like that. So they definitely like saved a lot because like pay director, like DP and stuff like that. That definitely adds up. So yeah, definitely Eschaton was the most expensive.
Yeah.
Were you making these with an end goal in mind of like, I'm going to do this and this is how I'm going to make the money back? Because with Spark, I made it, or like I didn't make it, but like when I was kind of doing all of it, I always had that kind of end goal of like, okay, well, how can we get this? Like, it's a business. What we're in is a business. We have to, like, the only way that we can get investors or get financing for the future is if we figure out a way to make money from what we do. That's just, it's not a charity thing. It's not something that's just like, this is our career. This is a business. So we have to figure out the money behind it, which obviously is the most uncomfortable part about this whole thing and to talk about and all this. And people don't want to talk figures and all that. But I also feel like that's an important thing because I feel like money is one of the things that holds people back the most from being able to actually do it. They're like, I don't have $20,000, so I can't do this project.
Yes and no, for sure. So even like before, I think even before we started filming Eschaton, I booked the Orpheum. So I already had like the idea of like we're gonna show all these films there in November. Which everyone was like, we haven't even shot one. What are you doing? Like, what are you
That
doing?
is wild, actually.
Yeah, you booked the venue before you even shot anything. Holy shit.
Also, just more, I guess more for me, also just to like, because it's like, like just to have an end goal. Because like I was saying, like a lot of times people say they're gonna do stuff, and it's so easy for like time to get away from you, and then you just don't do it.
Right.
So I'm like, well, now I have to do it. So like for sure, I'm gonna get it done. So the goal was always to for sure like get as many people to see it as possible. But also since they're like so different, so diverse, like the goal was to, in a sense, make one of the short films into a feature film, which is what we're doing this year for the Gambit. But in the short term, I don't think it ever crossed my mind to like make money back from like the premiere or like anything like that.
Really?
Which I like. Me and John are like totally different when it comes to that. Like he like. Because I don't know, for me, like you were saying, it makes people uncomfortable. Like it kind of like sometimes like makes me like gross. Like if it makes me feel gross about it, because I'm like, especially like being like the writer or like the actor, where like I'm just like I just want to like make it.
Right.
But
you
at the same
for
time,
it though.
I know.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
part is like the producer, especially. Like obviously there's different kinds of producers, but one of the things, like I said, it's a business. Like yes, you can be making it for fun, but I mean, the ultimate thing isn't to be making free movies the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I think that's like the which I've learned more so like throughout the year. Just also just talking to like future investors, and I've had to do a couple pitches, and I'm working on more for investors and like sales agents. But also just like hearing other people's stories, like Jason Blum for like Blumhouse and like stuff like that. Like I get it. Like as a producer, like you wanting to make the movie as good as possible, but also just kind of like for as cheap as possible, but then like not going into like the quality of it by doing that. So I kind of like that game, but I think when it comes to like selling it and like making money off of it, like I'm for sure like cool like pitching that to like a sales agent and like having them sell the movie, because I feel like that once it gets to that point, I feel like I don't know. It just feels like
give up the art part.
Yeah. Which like I get it. Like I 100% get like it's a business and like you need money to like make the movies. So like that's huge. But
there's business people for that.
Yeah.
Like
exactly,
there's artists and there's business people. Like you're the business person. I will never be that way. I can't.
I guess that's why like I love the art behind it, which is why I'm in this.
Yeah.
But I also have to like, if I could do all this stuff without having to worry at all about money, like. this was purely just like a passion thing that I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't care at all. I just want to make cool stuff,
Yeah.
which I do want to make cool stuff.
Yeah.
But this is also my career. So
Mhm.
I have to focus on like, okay, well, if I want the bigger stuff,
Mhm.
I have to figure out a way like of proving that, because like no
Yeah.
investor is going to give you money if you can't
Yeah.
prove that you can get the money back to them.
Yeah.
And then some. Like, if you want to turn one of your ideas into a feature-length film, it's going
Yeah.
to cost a fuck ton of money, whether you like it or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to be able to prove to whoever that's going to
Mhm.
give you that money that they're not just shoveling, oh, here's $1 million that
Yeah.
I'm never going to see again.
Yeah, but how do you even get there? though?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
I
about
think
that.
especially I think as being a producer, like just I think it's hard for like directors. I feel like it's so hard to like because like the same thing, like we don't start off a lot of money, and a lot
Right.
of times like maybe there's a good director out there, but just like the production doesn't have enough money for like good sound or like this and
Right.
that. So like I feel like for them it's so hard to like get that like trust from like people to like hire him. So like that's what I think that's why like a lot of directors like start like later on in their career, like 40s and like 50s and whatever
Yeah.
it may be. But yeah, it is hard to like, and I think that's what like I was trying to do with this too, just like making quality stuff to at least like show investors that like we can make quality things.
Mhm.
Right.
And then like once that happens, then like the salesperson is the one that like pitches it to like I can make money off of this quality thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which is, I think, where like the delegating different things comes
Mm.
in, because it's
Yeah.
like you're the creator. Obviously, you're gonna have. It reminds me of there was one pitch on Shark Tank
Mhm.
that I was watching, and this woman came on. I can't remember exactly which project or whatever it was, but she came on. She was like, "I put so much time and tears and money, or just everything into this," and then the lovely Mr. Wonderful was like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna tell you one thing: money has no soul. Money doesn't care whose pocket it goes into. Money doesn't give a shit about you.
Mhm.
Money is just money," type
Mhm.
of thing. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, that's the hard truth. And especially like if someone is an artist that's
Yeah.
creating something, we have that passion. We have that like, I
Yeah.
put so much into this.
Yeah.
But then you find like a millionaire that's just like wants to get in the business,
Mhm.
but wants to make money from it. They're like, okay, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you have passion on it, but
Yeah.
I mean, what's passion without anything to back it
Yeah.
up?
What's passion gonna get me?
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
make money
yeah.
from passion, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I love your passion and stuff. And you would be good on someone else's set,
Yeah.
but you pitching me, I mean, this guy has resources.
Yeah.
I can give you the money, or I can give this guy that already has crew, that already has people, that already has actors, like
Yeah.
already has all of his ducks in order.
Mhm.
You might have more passion,
Yeah.
more energy, more everything, and it's a good script. Maybe you could sell your script type of thing. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think of it from that like business perspective of like, okay, well, I don't know, man. It gets hard in
Yeah.
that instance.
Which is also just like since like we made these films, like just talking to people about like the business side of it in terms of like selling it to like for like theatrical releases or streaming and stuff like that. It's so interesting because even just like with like The Brutalist and stuff like that, like I feel like people always say like this is gonna sell, this is not gonna sell, and then what like me hearing that I'm like, but like how do you know?
yeah.
Because then like
Yeah.
people like The Brutalist, they're like, don't make that, like no one's gonna want to see that. Then it wins like all these awards, and you're
Right.
like, oh, maybe people did want to see it. Like, so I feel like that's the hard thing too, because I feel like it's like a balance where like people that are just like money driven, they're
Right.
like, no, like this is what's worked, like this is like, and they want to make stuff. And I feel like that's why like a lot of movies look like just very cookie cutter,
Right.
Mhm.
where there's like no creativity because they're just like, no, this sells, like this is an easy investment, we can sell it, like people will watch it, whatever. But like those aren't gonna win Oscars. Like those
Right.
aren't like,
Yeah.
and a lot of times like yeah, like sometimes Oscars don't make a lot of like money, but like obviously like they're really good quality. So
yeah.
I don't know. That's just an interesting conversation too.
Which I think I like that you kind of bring that up too, because I think we're slowly kind of getting into an age of
Mhm.
appreciation for the art instead of the budget. Like A24 has grown into such a big company,
Mhm.
but they've stuck to the guns of
Mhm.
independent,
Yeah.
sticking away from the giant Hollywood budgets and doing
Yeah.
all that. And we've seen the decline
Yeah.
in Hollywood level stuff. People are
Yeah.
tired of seeing the same
Mhm.
shit over again, the same storylines, the
Mhm.
same
Mhm.
this, the same that. Like they want to see more experimental shit.
Yeah.
I just watched. Have you seen The Substance?
I need to see it.
I just
need
watched
to
it.
see it.
I just watched it the other day.
Yeah.
It is so experimental.
Yeah.
There's so many like angles that I've never seen any other films do. There's
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
different things.
I need to
The
see
budget
it.
for it was $18 million,
Oh, shit.
and the amount of publicity that like I haven't seen any previews for it.
Yeah.
I've only heard about the other podcasts and stuff that I
Yeah.
listen to. And I'm like, okay, well, this actor really likes it. I kind of want to see
Yeah.
how it is. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting there. That's a very long movie.
Yeah.
But everything behind
though?
it is
Yeah.
just so like it's like one of the
I need to
few
see
that's
it.
like
I need to see it. Yeah.
this is an original. This
Cut
is
the podcast out. Let's
Yeah,
go watch
right.
it. Yeah.
But like watching it, I was just like, I wish more shit would take chances like this.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
about so much controversial shit. This is about
Mm.
so much of this. Like,
Mhm.
it's not for the faint of heart. It's
Mhm.
not for somebody that's just wanting whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's something that like if you appreciate the art behind what
Yeah.
we do,
Mhm.
you'll appreciate this. And it won so many fucking
Yeah.
awards.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like I think
I
it won
did
like
see
9 or
it.
10 Oscar awards for like
Cool.
best cinematography, best directing, best
Yeah.
writing, best screenplay.
It
Like
is,
it won
yeah.
so many different things.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it's made back from investments,
Yeah.
but just the publicity it's getting is
Yeah.
just like holy shit.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's probably because they didn't go like they didn't follow the rules though.
Exactly.
You know, that's the thing. I usually go against what everyone says.
Yeah.
Like if people say that they like love a movie, I'm probably gonna hate it. If they hate a
Yeah.
movie, I'm probably gonna love it. You
Yeah.
know, that's just who I am as a
Yeah.
person.
Have you seen Anora?
No, I haven't seen
See
any
what?
of them.
Anora?
Anora?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's the one
Uh,
that I was going against.
Yeah.
Really?
It won what did it? It won Best Picture, I think.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
right? Yeah, Best Picture, and then
Really?
Mhm.
yeah, Mikey Madison won Best Leading Actor.
I need to
Actress,
see. I don't
So
even
good.
know of this
Oh,
movie.
Okay,
What?
you should watch it because I'm just curious on what you think because I feel like some people didn't like it, like hated it, and
Yeah.
some people loved it. I loved it, but it's very like indie also,
Yeah.
and you can like tell. I don't know, it's just cool. Yeah, like great writing, like great acting, like even the behind the scenes, it just like feels very indie.
Right.
And then like the director Sean Baker, like just like hearing like old voicemails of him. Have you guys heard that too? With I think it's with Todd Phillips. He like sent him voicemail, but he was like, it's right after they like stop filming, and you can just tell he was just like super like sad, and he was just like,
Really?
"Dude, like I'm just like burnt out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like this is not going well. And then fast forward, and it like wins Best Picture,
Yeah.
and they win like all these other like awards for it, and so
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know, it just shows like the very much like peaks and valleys of just like I feel like filmmaking.
Oh,
just in
absolutely.
general.
Yeah. I always get depressed after a film's over, even if I
Yeah.
hated the movie.
Yeah.
Like I literally
Yeah.
last February did the worst movie of my entire life. I'm not
Uh-huh.
gonna talk about it, but once we were done with it, we were like so trauma bonded by it that we're
Yeah.
like we kind of miss it.
Yeah.
like
On
it's
set's
weird.
just great. It's just
Yeah,
a great. Yeah.
It is.
I've
Yeah.
done that. Like the
Yeah.
worst. It's funny. Like the worst sets that I've been on, the worst films that I've done, I've met the best people on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many amazing people that I have because I was like, no, fuck it.
You
This
gotta
might be a
trauma
bad
bond.
set, but
Yeah.
like, well, at least have this as like, hey, do you remember that one film that we did?
Yeah.
Shit set.
You will
but,
never
hey,
forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget my first thing. It was a shit set, but I met some
Yeah.
of my closest people on there.
Yeah, I said I told like all like when we were wrapping the Gambit, I like had a like little like when I was like telling everyone like goodbye and everything like that. I feel like it was like misconstrued because everyone was like like when I first said it,
Yeah.
but I forgot exactly what I said. But just like I was like regardless if this like turns out good or not, like at least we like will always have like these memories. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's like the
Yeah.
because I no matter what I feel like whether like I die tomorrow or like never like win an Oscar or anything like that, like the fact that like we're just like making movies and like doing what we love, I feel like that's like huge. Like a lot of people
That's
don't
the
get to
part
say
of
that
it.
they even like do that.
The
so.
Gambit was that within the couples
Yes.
that were at the cabin and okay.
Yeah, that one.
That
yeah.
one, holy shit. I was so impressed by like
Mm.
everything about that.
Yeah.
Like the screenplay was so original.
Mhm.
The everything about it, I was just like, holy shit. Arizona, like people there
Yeah.
are
That's
people
what
like
I'm
this
saying.
in Arizona.
yeah.
Like we don't have to be
Yeah.
like in Hollywood and stuff to see really cool like
Yeah.
if by the grace of God's
Mhm.
if you were to have been able to be like that way bigger director,
hmm
way bigger producer with all this money, like
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you guys are finally turning that one into a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
I'm
one,
excited for it. Yeah.
You're so young. Like that's the thing. It's give him like 15 years.
Oh my God, yeah.
Let's see where he's at. in
If this
15
is what you're doing now?
yeah.
Seriously.
Which is like an interesting like because I so like long term ago I think I told you when we got coffee that like my long term I would love to have like a studio here like kind of like a
Yeah.
Warner Brothers in like
Mhm.
Arizona
Mhm.
long term wise, and I definitely want like to like live here long term.
Me too.
But I have so many friends and like I've met so many people like acting wise specifically in LA
Yeah.
that I just like love like that community. It feels like very much
Yeah.
like you're just like in it and like everyone like is in it together and like you meet other like people like that are like getting like movie roles like actually like, in Hollywood and stuff like that.
Right.
And like I really feel like a pull to like just act for like a little bit and like do
Yeah.
that because like that's the main goal. Like if I could just do one job, it would just be acting
Same.
and like everything else, yeah, and everything else kind of just like comes from like wanting to act. Like and I love everything else that like comes with like filmmaking. But yeah, for sure like acting specifically like
Do you
yeah, I
have
wanna-
formal training with acting? Like other than that class you did in high school, like do you have other formal training with it?
Yeah, I took classes in so like all my like undergrad basically like minor classes were like acting related classes
Okay.
in at ASU and then Arizona Actors Academy. It's like it's pretty much like down the street from me.
Yeah, yeah, I
so
know
I've taken
them.
a couple courses and stuff with them as well. So yeah. Here and
Okay.
there, yeah. But
What stage are you guys at right now with turning the Gambit into a feature?
right now, so I'm working on a pitch deck for an investor. So basically trying to like finalize the budget in pre-production. That's kind of what we're doing, as well as getting the actors. We have most of the actors casted, but there's some that like depending on the budget and like who were to invest in it or doesn't invest in it, like that'll kind of
Yeah.
play a factor in that. But yeah, so still in pre-production. Like the goal is to start filming it at the end of the year. So we were gonna initially do it during the summer, which would have also been terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, because you guys aren't filming it here. You guys went.
We went up
for-
north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's okay.
Yeah, but still, but this one it might be a little different. It might not be a cabin. It might still be a cabin, but it'll
You
just
should
be like
keep it a
a
cabin.
the cabin is cool.
That added such a cool essence to it.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. I actually, I feel like I should stop saying this because I feel like it makes everyone so mad. But it's not my favorite movie. Like I actually don't really like it. Like the short film,
Really?
yeah, I don't like it at all. Yeah, I know. I went from like,
okay.
I don't really like it to be like, no, I hate it. But
That's
no,
okay.
I don't like it. So I'm excited for the feature because I feel like everything that I didn't like about it, like it'll be better in this
Mhm.
one.
What did you not like about it?
I didn't like so it to me compared to all the other movies, especially like it didn't have a lot of heart to it. It felt like kind of like sugar, like where like it's exciting and like everyone likes it, but it's like there's no substance to it. Like there's no like like there's no meat to it, and I think that's what bugged me about it the most. It just I don't know, but it's a short film, but it just felt like a very just like kind of like cheap thrill, and
Yeah.
like to me I was just like like I don't want to make movies like that.
Kind of like taking the shortcut way out.
Yeah, where I was like, because also like just when we were talking about it, when we were like when I was writing it, like I like for sure was like we were talking about like what people would like and like not like, and like I think there's like always like should be like some essence of that, but I think like certain scenes and certain like the way things played out, we were like, no, like people would think this is like crazy and just like
Yeah.
oh remember this, and like where I feel like that's not the way to go about it. So, but I'm excited for the next. I feel like the feature has a lot more heart, like a lot more story in it. So yeah, I'm excited for it. And I think more like horror elements, like very like I love like the music for it, and I love like how Nick shot it and everything like that. But I think like we could go deeper into it, especially
Yeah.
with like. Have you guys seen Nosferatu?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Have you seen it?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, I
What?
hated it actually.
So I liked, aside from like the story and like the movie, I loved the music for it.
Yeah,
And I
music was
loved
good.
like just like the vibe of it, like just like
Mhm.
the feeling that like Robert Eggers like makes with like all his movies. So like I want like that to be more of a thing, especially with like a horror like kind of like suspenseful movie. But I'm curious, like why didn't you like it?
I honestly can't even tell you. I just like
I just hated it.
I did. I
It's a
don't know
shit
why.
movie.
It was awful. I hated it. I have no words.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Dude.
I have no words.
What other movies do you hate?
Oh,
like
my-
new ones like that have come out.
Oh, what was the one that I just
Captain
walked
America?
Out of? Captain America.
Oh,
The newest
I
one?
walked out of it 30
Absolutely
minutes
fucking
in.
trash.
Yeah, I could not watch it.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie.
I've never either.
Yeah.
But the camera operating was so awful that I couldn't
Mhm.
watch it.
I
Yeah,
no.
it was
It pissed
very
me
I
off.
watched it before her, and I was like, be
You
careful.
warned me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, but like even from an actor's, like she had the perspective from the camera operator's point of view.
Yeah.
I had the perspective from the actor's point of view. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
You could tell that too. Yeah.
I was like, these
Yeah.
guys are taking such easy way outs.
Yeah,
Just-
same with like the heart thing. I feel like it didn't
Yeah.
really have a lot of heart to it. I was
Yeah.
like, I guess this is like cool. Of
Yeah.
you, like, because I like superheroes, so I was
Yeah.
like, this is cool, but like in no ways is a good movie.
It felt
No,
like
it
a money
wasn't.
grab.
yeah,
You could just tell that the actors just like walked in, did their lines, and then like went back to
Yeah.
their trailer.
literally. Yeah,
Quick couple $1 million, boom.
Yeah.
And like you can tell exactly which parts of the movie the
Mhm.
budget mostly went to.
yeah,
And I don't know, it just didn't have like the arcs and stuff. It relied
Mhm.
too much on like the cool things after a fight or like
yeah,
this or like the effects. And I'm like, no, like
yeah.
people are watching these for a certain like I don't even know if
Mhm.
like I'm not a huge comic person. I never grew up a
Yeah.
huge comic person.
Mhm.
I don't know how much stuck to the comics or
Yeah.
anything like that. I just it felt like a cop out.
Yeah,
It felt
Yeah.
like
I agree.
they had a big budget and they were like, we know that people are going to come see this.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be something, boom.
yeah,
But like, you're going into something. I felt almost like played in a way that's like
hmm
you're going to see Captain America. Instinctually,
yeah.
you're like, I'm about to see Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
We
Yeah.
all
about to
knew that
see-
though.
I
Yeah.
mean, we all knew that, but like it's the same thing with like when we're watching the Avengers. I remember I was
Yeah.
watching the Avengers, and the moment
Uh-huh.
that Captain America, Chris Evans, hopped on the screen, the entire theater was
Went
cheering.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best.
And then like the Spider-Man spoiler, if you guys haven't seen it, which fuck you for if you haven't seen these yet.
it,
Yeah.
I don't
honestly.
even say spoiler because these have been out long enough for you guys to
Honestly,
see
Yeah.
it.
yeah, it's been a while.
But like,
That almost made me cry. I think I did cry.
well, that and then like,
Yeah.
I've never felt more excited in a movie than in Spider-Man
Mhm.
when all three of them were together.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Like the
Yeah.
hype that
What
was
an
behind
honor.
it.
What an honor.
Yeah,
You know?
I've
I
never
got
like.
chills.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
actually jumped out of my seat like,
Yeah,
like,
so
I've never
true.
done that. Other than that film,
Yeah.
I was like, I went with my
Yeah.
friend. I was like, oh my god,
yeah. Oh no, the same. Even like with Daredevil in the beginning, I was like, "What?
Yeah.
that's crazy." Yeah,
And I feel like we're losing
Yeah.
that essence.
Mhm.
I feel like
We're
it's new characters that we haven't like grown up with though. So they're trying to introduce these.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for like younger kids, they're probably growing up with these characters and they're gonna love it.
Mhm.
But we're just older now.
well, I think
That
it's
might be a
also,
Yeah,
especially at least for something like the Marvel stuff, they lost the creator.
Mhm.
Stan Lee is no longer alive, so we can't get his input, which he's the creator of these characters.
Yeah.
He's
The
the
fact
one,
that they stopped putting his cameo in,
I know.
pisses me off.
No.
like you have enough footage of him or like CGI stuff
do
to
something.
put him in.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Like
like,
what is happening?
you can tell it's one of those things that they're just like taking this idea, knowing they can make money. It's like the same thing with Fast and Furious. I feel like
Yeah.
after
Whoa,
Paul
hey
Walker.
now. Nah, hey now. I love Fast and Furious.
No, I love it. I grew up on it, but it was like you can tell
Yeah.
the storyline take that turn after Paul Walker died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
But
like
you can't
him
do
and Vin
anything
Diesel.
about that though. Like
Yeah.
what are you gonna do about that?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like all the
Yeah.
new movies, like
Mhm.
it makes you wonder, like how would it have been different if he was still alive?
Oh yeah, I agree. I
know.
agree.
Like would they have gone into fucking space?
yeah.
Probably not.
Or
Yeah.
would it have stuck to
Yeah.
more of the racing
Which is
stuff?
funny. So like for sure, like that, where it's like just getting more. Like I for sure agree with that, like the space thing, like
Yeah.
all that stuff. But I feel like with what I like about Fast and the Furious, as opposed to like the newer like Avengers stuff or like just Marvel stuff in general,
Yeah.
is I feel like they like still have like a lot of like it's very like still like their main thing is like everyone always jokes about it. It's like the family, but it like
Yeah.
it is like
Yeah.
they try to like keep that
Oh, I love that
within,
part.
which is
That's
cool.
true.
I was pissed when I was low key kind of pissed when they came out with like Hobbs and Shaw
Oh yeah,
as
yeah.
like a sequel or like as a spin-off of Fast and Furious. I'm like,
Mhm.
money grab right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm like, these guys are sub characters within this franchise.
yeah,
Why do they need their own fucking movie?
yeah, yeah.
Like, if they're gonna have their own movie,
Yeah.
have it be something completely different than Fast and Furious, because this has nothing to do with Fast and Furious anymore.
Yeah. But they had to connect it to something that
I
already made
know.
money though. That's the thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the way that it need, and like obviously Dwayne Johnson's in it, and we have
Yeah,
Jason Statham with
yeah.
our two like the biggest action stars. So they know
Yeah.
it's gonna make money, but it would have still made money
Yeah.
if they didn't have to connect it to that.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah,
that.
but how do you make that same movie and not connect it to that with those characters in it?
Yeah,
You know?
it's just kind of as
Yeah.
someone who like I remember I think it was I want to say Fast 5. It was
Mhm.
like 5 or 6. I was in elementary school when it came out, and my mom literally pulled me out of school to drive me down to Phoenix and IMAX to go see it the day it was released.
Heck yeah.
Like that's how I grew up with it. Like I respect the franchise, I love it.
Yeah.
But it was like as it went on, like after like 1 or 2 movies of him not being in it, I was like, I see the difference now.
Yeah.
I see like they're still racing, they're still involving cars, but it's like all these crazy ass Hollywoodistic type of things that they're incorporating for the bigger budget stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that kind of pissed me off. It was like, this was Paul Walker's franchise.
Yeah.
It was his thing.
Yeah, but you can't stop it. You can't just stop just because someone dies.
But if it's
Such
their
a tragedy.
Yeah.
but if it's their film, I feel like
Didn't he like ask for 10?
he did ask for 10, which I don't know all the.
So it's like in honor of him then to keep going.
Yeah. That's fair.
But at the same time, I don't know. Like the fact that they're doing 10 in 2 different parts, that kind of I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They probably ran out of like editing time though. Like,
Probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially like if there's like 10 movies, like to wrap that story up after like 10 films, you're like, where do we even? We could have ended it a million times. We haven't. Like, what ends it now? Yeah.
Like I feel like Marvel's still going to keep going with a bunch of different shit, and I'm like, you guys should have stopped after Endgame.
Yeah, I think at a certain point they need to like reset. Like, it needs to be like a reset for that.
Like, or I mean, I honestly wouldn't be entirely opposed to some new characters coming into play. Some of the people like. That is kind of one of the things I do like about, and I don't know why this turned into a Marvel versus DC type of thing, but having multiple different Batmans.
Yeah,
now we have the ability to be like, I love the way that Christian Bale played this guy versus Robert Pattinson.
Clooney.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
But even with Marvel and stuff, like I love being able to be like, which one's your favorite Spider-Man? It's like, they're all different ways type of thing. But like, we have one Iron Man.
I agree.
And it's like, are they going to retire him? Because Robert Downey Jr. is not going to live forever.
Yeah. Because also it's hard because if they keep doing it, like you need like a buffer. You can't just like stop making that Iron Man and make another one because people are going to hate that. Like you need time in between for sure to like
that's true.
No Iron Man and then you bring in another Iron Man. But that's like that or Wolverine. Like those are such iconic like people that play those characters that now like when everyone thinks that they just think about like that specific actor. So like. It's gonna be tough.
How do you feel about them making another Deadpool? I don't know if it's in the plan. I just know that like
for sure. I love Deadpool.
Yeah.
That's actually like last year. That was one of my favorite movies. I like.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah.
It's literally on the top of my list.
That ending sequence.
Are you
chills,
talking about like
dude.
the Deadpool versus Wolverine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That ending, dude. Yeah, with the Madonna song.
The car scene was it for me.
Yeah.
Where they're fighting in that car. The camera
it's
work.
Just so funny.
Dude,
the camera work is crazy. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't know until I was checking social media afterward that the beginning sequence of Deadpool dancing wasn't even Ryan Reynolds.
No.
It was some TikToker that they found that was just dressed as him. I'm like, how cool is that though? Like, to have a character like that, we don't know who's in it. Like, I remember when I was in it, we were still all debating if it was Taylor Swift or Blake Lively.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, it's a blonde girl, but they're both blonde. So which one
is it?
As
an actor, I don't know like how I would feel about because like in a sense, like Ryan Reynolds could have not been in most of that or like any of that.
He
Really.
probably
And just
wasn't.
voiceover. Yeah. So like,
no, 100%.
I feel like I would hate that. I'd be like, well, I'm not even acting. Like I'm just doing the voiceover for it.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, his whole thing is stunts, and it's like he probably has a stunt. Like he's not Tom Cruise.
100%. It's not probably. He 100%.
So it's like, how is he even in it?
Yeah, he doesn't move like that for real.
Yeah,
no,
well, I mean,
not.
He did write a lot of it, so it is like his movie. So
yeah, he's not doing any of the stunts.
But even
I bet.
Even that, like I've seen it change his humor as well. I'm not saying that like Ryan, if you're watching this for somehow by the grace of God, I still love you. I still want to marry you. You're still my husband. But if you're a straight guys are in love with Ryan Reynolds.
No, he's great. I think he's awesome. Yeah.
I think everyone is.
I think he's so funny. Like I just like that's like my sense of humor also. Like I'm very just like goofy all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, I think
but I've seen it change, like especially like with Deadpool.
Yeah.
His humor has changed so much. Like it seemed more natural as like his earlier roles came. Now it feels like it's more forced. Like with like New Guy or with some of the other films that he's come out with.
Yeah.
I feel like his humor is almost forced because that's what people are expecting out of him.
Yeah.
It's not as just so happens. Like The Proposal. It was just like a random thing that happened, or there was I can't remember. There was another movie that he did that was just. Oh, what's that one that he played like a server in a restaurant?
My sister keeps telling me to see that
Shit.
movie.
That's a good one.
I've not seen it.
Look
It
it up.
is because it is literally one of the funniest.
That's what she
movies.
says. Like everyone has been, but it's like
I
not
loved
a, it's
that
not a
movie.
new movie, right? It's like an older movie.
Mhm.
No, it's definitely older. It's like when.
That's a good one.
I've never seen it yet.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Ryan Reynolds.
He's great.
Oh, it comes out. I got to see an early screening for it.
Oh,
Novocaine. It comes out
Oh,
this
yeah.
coming week.
how was it? Great.
Funniest thing I've seen in so long.
Really?
It
Okay.
is-
Okay. Heck yeah.
Like I
Yeah, we need one of those.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I at first I thought it was a thriller
Yeah.
for some reason when I was
Yeah.
going into it, but I was watching it.
You're like, what?
I couldn't stop I
Interesting
always forget his
concept.
name, but the guy who
From The
plays
Boys?
the main character.
Yeah.
His timing is so like he is such an underrated comedic actor.
Yeah.
I was so impressed by
I miss
everything
it.
in that film. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, like
Heck yeah.
this is how comedy should be now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds. Let me see here. Restaurant movie. There we
Yeah.
go. Is it? No, it's not waiting. Why is the Notebook coming up for me right
That's-
now? Is it wait?
Is it?
Maybe it is waiting. I think maybe. Oh, Van Wilder. That was fucking gold. I miss that humor.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
raunchy ass humor and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
Tropic Thunder, like that kind of humor.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Honestly.
Love that kind of humor,
But
though.
we
Especially like in
can't-
terms of like film.
We
Like,
can't make those
yeah,
again,
no,
though. That's the
aggressive.
problem.
Yeah.
Red Notice was another one that I felt like was just like
Mm-hmm.
forced humor a
I
little bit
agree.
that I was just like, I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Like, oh, Six Underground. Love that one.
That was pretty sick.
I'm like looking up all the things.
Find the movie. Or
I know. I'm trying.
He's just
I'm
going through all
trying.
his,
We're just, like,
his whole
going off
catalog
on
of
this-
Ryan Reynolds.
We
That
got,
is a good
like,
movie. I
20
like 600 Ground though. That's
Yeah.
a good one. Michael Bay.
Wait, he was in
Michael Bay.
He was in Harold and
Yeah.
Kumar Go to White
I've
Castle.
heard he's a little wild on set.
That's what
though.
I've heard also, yeah.
I saw a video of him being wild. I don't
Oh,
want to talk
really?
about it. Yeah, he
No
was like
way.
screaming at these people. I think they're like the drone operators, and like he was like, "Where are you standing? You're gonna be in the shot." And he was like, they were like, "We're standing where you told us to stand," and they're like screaming at each other, like the like things were gonna explode. And
Yeah.
so
Was it for
just
that
this-
movie? Was it for 600 Ground or was it for?
I don't remember what it was for.
Have you seen Ambulance? Did he do that movie?
I think he
No,
did. No, he didn't.
no, Ambulance. That
Did,
was
didn't he?
fucking
I don't
shit.
know.
What was his name? Not Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Was it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal
Yeah,
and
no.
Isa Gonzalez.
Yeah,
It was Waiting, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm looking up Ambulance.
He's like, I
Yeah,
want something
Ambulance.
else now.
Oh, it was Jake Gyllenhaal. But it's Ambulance.
That one's good.
I
The
love
drones
that
were
one.
crazy in that
Yeah.
one.
That was such like an experimental thing. Like they literally hired the world champion drone flyer to come in
Yeah.
and like do all these cool shots. I'm like, that's what I want to see
It
more
was
of.
cool.
Yeah.
My
Like-
palms were sweating the whole time.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
bet.
this is a crazy movie. Yeah.
Did you see Roadhouse, the one with Jake
I
Gyllenhaal?
did. Yeah.
What did you think about it?
Well, I love Conor McGregor and Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal, but I think it was a fun movie. I don't think it was a great movie. Is what
Okay.
my opinion. But I like movies for like the experience of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a big like compared to all my other friends that like are in like film. Like I'm not a critic at all. Like I
Yeah.
like every movie I see. I'm like
Right.
I liked it. Like I'll figure out a way to like it for
Mhm.
sure. So I'm like a bad person to ask for sure about that. Yeah.
It's hard
What,
for me.
what did you guys think about it? Yeah.
I liked it.
I haven't seen it, to be honest.
Although it's one of those that like I like because they were both on a podcast that I listened to, Armchair Expert, and it was the first time Conor McGregor had ever been on like a major set like that.
Mhm.
He wasn't used to like all this crazy stuff. So like the first take they're doing this crazy fight sequence and stuff,
Yeah.
and then he's like going all out, and they're like, okay, cool. Now we're doing close ups. He's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're doing it again.
We have to do all that again?
Yeah, yeah.
like
and then he's
9
like,
more
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And so he was like, bro, you actors, like
Yeah, it's crazy.
the stamina you guys have to like.
Yeah.
He was like putting everything out for the master shot,
Yeah.
but didn't realize they had to like
Uh-oh.
do
all
it
these
again
other
and
ones.
again
and,
and again.
like by the end, he was like, "How the fuck do you guys
Dying.
do this?" It's like this is part of the thing, like
yeah.
being able to do that, like how the training that they all go through.
Yeah.
There was Christian Bale. I was just watching a thing with like
Uh-huh.
the amount that he's transformed his body
Oh,
Yeah.
for different films.
Dude.
There was the Machinist
Yeah,
that like
and-
he dropped like 90 pounds.
And then went back up for Batman.
yeah,
Yeah.
immediately because like Christopher Nolan was like, "How are you gonna do
Yeah.
this?"
Didn't he
Yeah.
get too big and had to get smaller for the suit?
Or
Or who was that?
I think it was him.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
him. He got too big.
Because he had to play another role to where he'd like be super fat,
Yeah.
and so he had to pack
yeah,
on.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
it was the same thing with
Dude, that's crazy.
shit,
Matthew
Joaquin
McConaughey?
Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
To where I think it was for the Joker. He
Mhm.
had to like do his diet was cigarettes and apples.
Yeah.
It was like his
actually,
entire thing.
Gross.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he looked bad. Like he looked
yeah,
very.
I know. I
just
was like, oh my
gaunt.
god.
That's wild, honestly.
There
Yeah.
was
The dedication's crazy.
Yeah, the dedication to do that.
I know. Did you see the one he did with A24? Don't or it was like Don't Be Afraid, Bo, or something, or
Oh no, I
Bo
have
was
not seen
afraid.
it. Yeah, I have not seen it. Is it good?
it was. I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
When I was,
Everyone said it's like very like anxiety driven. It's just
It
like
is,
a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot. There's like
I-
a spider scene, right?
I think
he's
so.
like in the bathtub. I'm like
Oh,
scared. I hate spiders. So
Oh, yeah,
I
there
haven't
is-
seen it because of that. Because I'm like, I don't want to see that.
There
scene.
is one spider scene,
I
but
don't
like
want to see that.
you have to, it's hard to keep up with, but at
Yeah.
the same time it's just like it's one of those just mind fuck movies
Oh,
that's just
really?
like putting you through a constant mind fuck,
Yeah.
but it shows his ability as an actor to be able to portray so much different stuff going on.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff, especially with the mind fuck
Mhm.
movies, because it challenges the actor so much more. It's not just like
Yeah.
here's one character to play a consistent thing. It's like, how can we do this?
Being
this?
multiple things. Yeah.
That was the thing with the substance
Mhm.
that I loved about her. Like there
Mhm.
were certain instances that it's not just like a consistent funny character, a consistent down depressed character. Like
Yeah.
she has moments of like super happy, blah blah blah, to like she's literally like scratching
Yeah.
herself in the mirror, just going absolutely crazy. And I'm like, to be able to pull something like that
Yeah, to
off
do both,
and
yeah.
to just like be comfortable, like squirming like you did on the ground,
Yeah.
it just takes so much more. I'm like, I wonder how many takes that took, how
True,
many
yeah.
times she had to pull that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
those kind of things were like truly impressed me, like
Mhm.
the mind fuck type of things.
Yeah.
The way that they think about that.
Yeah. No, yeah. But it's probably so fun for them. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
those are the most fun roles when you can just,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you have like a variety of things. You're not just like one person.
Yeah.
You're everything, basically. Yeah.
What have you learned so far about turning the gambit from a short to a film? Because we're trying to do like, I feel like that's a very repetitive thing. Not
Mhm.
repetitive, but the movie Whiplash. Do you know that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
That one was originally a short
Mhm.
that got turned into a feature length film.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of doing that with the Gambit, I feel like.
Yeah.
You're getting something. Was that the one that you said had a 60-page script? Or was
No, that was the
No.
most passionate
That-
death. That was
that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So for this one, it was originally written as a short, right?
Mhm.
So you have to kind of add on some extra stuff in it then, right?
Yeah, which I think like the way because it's very much like an ensemble cast, so like there was a lot of room to like add stuff.
Mm.
And like I was already like mad that it didn't have a lot of heart, so I think I already had an idea of like how to make it better.
Okay.
But I think it's a very different thing because I've never written a feature script before, and just
Right.
like it's just like pacing and like all that stuff. Like I feel like that's been probably the hardest thing, like just like making a longer film and like not wanting any lulls and like just making
Mm.
sure like it like makes sense because also like as a writer like I've like seen it like I know the story front to back,
Right.
but like I'm not like to have like a new person sit in on it and be like, does this make sense, like does this like flow well for you? And then also like on the page is very different than like how it's going to translate to like the screen as well, so just like trying to take that into account.
It makes sense.
But I think that for sure. And then also just like kind of what I was talking about, just like when it comes to like financing and like getting investors and doing pitch decks. Like I've never had to do a pitch deck for anyone. Like in terms of film, I've never had to do it. So it's interesting and it's super cool. Like I had I actually got to my dad, his friend of a friend basically is like a producer that does a lot of like shows in Hollywood.
Okay.
And so I had like just like a quick like 30-minute like Zoom call with him. Just like he was just being nice. And was kind of telling me everything that I was going through, whatever. And he was like, hey, I actually like have like a director that like she's working on a pitch that she's gonna pitch to some investors like on a call right after you. Like, do you want to like sit in on it?
No
And
way.
I was like, sure, that'd be great. So he let me like sit in on it. It was super cool. I forget her full name, but the last movie she did was with Robert De Niro and
Ooh.
Sebastian Maniscalco. It's like what's it called? About My Dad.
Okay.
Super cool movie. Like I haven't seen the whole thing, but it's like kind of like a comedy. But yeah, just to like see other people like do their pitch and like how she did it. So I think it's really cool like being able to like see that side of things. Because because yeah, like just like financing your own stuff, like you don't really get exposed to like, okay, like down the line when you have to like basically like sell your film to like
Right.
people or like get people to like invest. Like luckily for us, like we have like a short film to like show people. But if I came into it as like, hey, this is just like an idea, and like getting people to like buy an idea, I think I don't know, it's just super cool like to see like that side of things. So yeah, I'm excited for it for sure.
That sounds
But,
super cool.
Yeah.
Well, because I know that when I was first kind of talking to you about all this, one of the things that we were kind of discussing that a lot of filmmakers
Mhm.
miss the point of is like, okay, well, you're wanting distribution and stuff,
Mhm.
but you're not seeing, and like this is just like marketing 101.
Mhm.
You have an idea, that's awesome, but is it something that is wanted right now?
Mhm.
Right.
Like, one of the first things that you were talking about is like, are you checking with distributors to see if that's even something that they're looking for? Because you want to do a rom-com,
Mhm.
but what if there's already 20 that are coming out in the
Mhm.
next year?
Yeah.
What's going to make yours different than any of theirs?
Right.
And yeah, you can go independent route and stuff, but
I had a friend that had a movie to come out and he's made so much money off of it. So I was like, how did you do that? And he said that he literally called all the distribution companies and was like, what are you guys needing to be made?
Yeah.
And they told him and he made it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
like sold it all day and night for years. I think he's still
Yeah.
making money off of it. So
Yeah.
that's what I tell people now is I haven't done it, but just call them, you know?
I mean, that's just basic market analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the distribution is going to be how you make money off of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like any true artist can kind of, it's like, oh, well, a horror is what we're looking for.
Mhm.
I have a storyline, I can make it into a horror.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of like that alteration of like, well, it's a love story. It's like, okay, but can you make it into a horror? That
Yeah.
way you don't have to compromise your
Yeah.
own integrity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
But also, it's like you want to sell this script.
Yeah.
At least this way you have a way to make a career out of it or something.
Yeah.
One thing that was really cool that he told me too was the distribution company, once they like heard his script and his pitch, they gave him $50,000 as well.
Oh,
The
nice.
distribution company did, because they're
That's
like,
sick.
we want you to make this and we know that we'll at least make more than 50 grand back. So
Yeah.
we'll get our money back.
Yeah.
And then once they got their 50 grand back, then he started making money off of it.
That's
So you can try
sick.
to get
Yeah.
that too. You know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the-
which is also just like hearing like people were like they're like we like a couple of like the people I've talked to about it, like they've basically said like you're asking for like not enough money. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Really?
what
I
do
was
you
gonna
mean?
ask you
I'm
how
like,
much
what do
you-
you mean, dude? Like, this is crazy.
I wanted to ask you how much you're doing. Like, what do you think?
Well, the budgets, the ask will be so it depends. So I was talking to a few SAG actors. So if we went with SAG actors, the ask would be for like a $300,000 budget. It would
That's
if it
it?
was not SAG, it would be maybe like $500,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because it puts you like in a different bracket with SAG, and
Yeah,
there's like
yeah.
a lot more paperwork to do with
yeah,
a
that's
higher
what we
budget.
had to do.
Yeah.
We have to actually go up a scale.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They were
because
like, they
we
wanted
made more money, and so we have to tell SAG about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to pay our actors back pay.
Yeah.
Which
Wow.
I do want to preface for those who are listening who aren't familiar with this industry. Like, that sounds like a fuck ton of money,
Yeah.
but in this industry, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Especially-
And that's what they were telling me. They're like, this is not because like what I was because okay, like as a producer, like I was saying, like you kind of want to make it for like, and I was like, I can make it for like not like I don't need that much money to
Yeah.
make it. I think for
Most
sure.
of it's insurance, to be honest.
Yeah, like stuff like that
Permits.
for sure.
Lodging, permits,
Yeah.
Transportation,
hmm
yeah, and food.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what we
Food.
spent
And then
a lot
Food
of
especially
money.
for
with
sure.
A feature being able to pay salaries like that, because unlike a short that you could just work around schedules of
Yeah.
like shooting on the weekends, this,
You're not going to be paying them very well at all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mhm.
but
'Cause
you're
it's all-
still paying whatever day rate they have, like for like 3 months. You can't just be like, hey, so I'll pay you $100 a day for 2 weekends worth of work.
Mhm.
This is like,
Technically, I got paid $200 a day. Everyone got paid $200 a day for mine, and we had
Yeah.
over $500,000 budget.
Do you have a is there like a union for that you're a part of, or like or that you
For camera.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there is one, but I'm not in it yet.
Mhm.
I can join it because
Mhm.
I have enough hours, but
Yeah.
we don't have enough union jobs that come out here yet.
Gotcha.
And I'm
gotcha.
waiting because like J.J. Abrams TV show that was in Tucson.
Mhm.
They actually contacted me, and they said that when they came back for the rest of the season,
Yeah.
that if I just like applied and didn't pay for it yet,
Yeah.
then my paychecks would go towards my dues for the
Oh,
union.
Yeah.
But then they moved to New Mexico.
You're like, no.
Yeah, so,
what
like-
are you doing?
So when they left, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
they gave me that idea that I could do that.
Yeah.
So when another union job comes out here,
Yeah.
they'll contact me because I'm like luckily one of the first people to call,
Yeah.
and then I'll just sign up for the union and
Yeah.
then have that same deal.
Yeah.
But for the position that I want to join, it's $25,000 to join.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's really
Dang.
difficult to join
Yeah.
it. Like, luckily they like do payments, but like I would
Yeah.
be paying it for the rest of my life. honestly.
So I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of how it is for actors out here.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if like there is a SAG project that comes out here,
Mhm.
it's good to become SAG eligible.
Yeah.
But to actually join the union out here,
Yeah.
you're shooting
Puts
yourself
you
in the
box.
foot
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can't work on any of the independent films.
I would have to
anymore.
travel out of state in order to keep my
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Which-
That's a lot. Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like for actors, when it comes to the union, I don't really know exactly how the union works
Mhm.
with like if you become union in Arizona, how it is with traveling. But I know that like you're being put into now an even bigger fishbowl of other people that are in the union and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like it's not just like, oh cool, like I'm in the union now, I get all the cool paying jobs. It's like, well, now you're in the big dogs.
No,
Yeah.
it's just still who you know. Like,
Yeah,
because also I don't want to join the union and not know anybody,
that's true.
you know, because
Yeah.
like they're not going to hire me just because I'm in the union.
Yeah.
The union doesn't get you jobs. It's who you know. It's you actually auditioning still.
Yeah.
You know, you just are able to audition for the SAG jobs, but it's not going to get you work.
True.
That's not what the
you
unions
could
are for.
Yeah. If anything, it's like if you're in SAG, filmmakers are like, maybe not you. then."
Yeah.
Like, maybe not.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a lot that comes with like being in the union, but also like because the union has like minimum pay
Mhm.
Right.
for it, but also like, and I don't know. For me, it feels right, like because all the people that I've at least like agreed to have in the Gambit so far, like the contracts and everything, they're non-union.
Mhm.
But we've agreed to like more than the minimum union rate because also they don't get all like the other stuff
Right.
that comes with the union.
Yeah.
But then like so I'm like, they're kind of more expensive
Mhm.
not being union, but at the same time it's like easier to work with them.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, it's a weird.
Which that's where in the business sense more negotiation for pay comes in because there was for Avatar
Mhm.
it was originally supposed to be Matt Damon
Mhm.
and they offered him the role and his payment was I think 20% of the movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Wild.
But he was in the middle of filming Jason Bourne, so he had to turn it down.
Yeah.
He lost out. I think it was estimated to be
It's crazy
200
much,
something
yeah.
million
That's
dollars
crazy.
that it would have equated to.
Yeah.
But it's like it's one of those things where like, up front he's not going to get handed that $20 million check.
hmm
But it's that residual of like over the next 10 years we're going to set you up for life type
Yeah.
of thing.
I don't know about that because we had an A-list actor on my Western,
Mhm.
and we had to pay him upfront the total cost. I
Well-
don't know how it works, but like my
Yeah.
experience, like he was not going to show up unless we paid him in advance.
I
Yeah.
think though to bounce off of that, it's also because it was for a film that didn't have huge people like
Mhm.
Avatar. I think that was James Cameron. I think
Mhm.
he's
Yeah.
the director.
Mhm.
James Cameron has his own name.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
he has his own relationship with Matt Damon to where
Yeah.
it's like there's negotiation towards like I can guarantee this movie is going to make
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
like you guys have a different scale. Like if it was
For
James
sure,
Cameron
for
on
sure.
your guys' thing,
He wanted more. He wanted a bunch of percentage of the movie too, and like
Yeah.
he wanted to get paid another $100,000
Dang,
more.
to get both is crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's what like Jason Blum, like he was saying, like his whole like model for it is like giving people more percentage of it
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like less
Less
upfront money,
money,
so
yeah.
that they can make the movies better.
Yeah.
right?
But that's crazy to ask for
Yeah.
both.
He asked for both,
Like,
and
what
we
do
were
you
like,
want from us?
yeah, we were like, we are a tiny movie in
Yeah,
Arizona.
what?
Like, can you not? And
Yeah.
he ended up agreeing to the original
That's
thing.
But in that
crazy.
sense, he knows that the success of it
It's because of him.
is gonna
Like,
be-
it's going to be slightly because of him,
Yeah.
not fully. Okay.
But it's like when you have like a regular movie versus a movie with Will Smith. It's like
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
well, Will Smith has his own fan base,
Yeah.
so obviously
Yeah.
you're going to be
That's
making
fair.
more.
That's
there.
why we needed an A-list actor, though, because if it was just like a bunch of Arizona actors,
It
then like who's
probably-
gonna really watch it? Like, how
Yeah.
can we actually get it sold? Like, we need to.
Yeah.
And so we got lucky.
Yeah.
So I feel like it it can be negotiated, and like obviously he probably was offered a
Mhm.
different thing,
Yeah.
but there could have also just been that negotiation of like him and James Cameron talking about like, hey, if you come on, like obviously we'll pay whatever your day
Yeah.
rate is or whatever agency fee, whatever, but
Mhm.
like your main pay is going to be 20% of this film.
yeah.
Which minimum, according to our distributors, is going to be an estimate. Like who knows what the talk was behind the scene,
Mhm.
but it was still like
Yeah.
that's where the negotiation, like when if you were to try to get Johnny Depp or something.
Yeah.
If I were to try to get Johnny Depp, it would be he would look at me and be like, okay, well it's going to be $20 million versus
We tried to get Johnny Depp.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that go?
He didn't respond to us.
Oh no.
But then-
he was busy.
yeah, I guess so. He was busy in court.
That's the only reason.
He had
That's
things
it.
going on for sure.
But if it was someone like James Cameron, or if it
Yeah.
was someone, I'm
Yeah.
blanking on all the big
yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. If it was any of them,
Yeah.
it would have been like, okay, well, either way, I know this movie's gonna be a hit. I know
Yeah.
it's gonna get my name out there. I know
Yeah.
it's so that's where like the power of negotiation comes in, to where it's
Mhm.
like who's asking, and that's where
Yeah, but watch him in 15 years.
I know.
Maybe it was
Yeah.
different. Yeah, because it is interesting to just talk. Because like as an actor, it's interesting talking to like agents for other actors.
Yeah.
and then also talk because I'm like I feel like I'm on like both sides of this thing right now. It's like weird. It's a weird thing because also just like I'll talk to the actors first
Mhm.
and I'll like share with them the script, talk to them about it, like get their feedback, and then like ask them if they want to be in it. And I've had a couple of times. One in particular, it was one of the SAG people where she like really wanted to do the movie. And she was like, I love this. Like I would be so down to do it. She's like, you just like have to like talk to my like manager. Like she
Oh,
like
fuck.
she's the one that
they
deals with
can't-
it.
They can't not.
And talked to the manager, and the manager was like, she's not doing it. And I was like, she
come
wants
on.
to do
Really?
it though. What the heck?
That
Yeah.
sucks.
I was so pissed.
That makes me like, if I was the client or something, I would ask my manager like, what the fuck are you doing with my
Yeah,
career
for
then?
real.
Yeah, and I don't know what she said to her because like also like yeah, she gave me like a like kind of like a BS excuse for it, and then it was like through email, and then like the actual like actor, she like texted me and she was like, "That's not why." She gave me like the actual reason why, and I was like, "Okay." It was like a more personal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I get like maybe like the manager was trying to like just be
Protect
conscious of
her.
her, like yeah,
I could understand if it was a big actor that it's like we
Yeah.
can't accept lower budget films like this
Yeah.
because we're already getting these offers for these huge and we
Yeah.
can't risk it. But if it's
Yeah.
like if she's not even like huge, big, and like
Yeah.
getting Sony calling left and right
Yeah.
or Warner Brothers, it's like I would be a little bit like, okay, so you're
Yeah.
saying no to a feature-length film that's actually going to pay me.
yeah,
What are you? You're my manager. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be the one guiding my career. That's
Yeah.
the whole reason why you have a manager, so they can manage your career.
yeah,
And if you're like,
yeah. Yeah, that was weird to me. I was
did
just like, I was so
did the
angry.
manager
Yeah,
talk
but-
to
Yeah,
her
but-
like from the time that you talked to the manager? Was
Mm-hmm.
it an immediate no, or was it like let me discuss and then come back?
It was like a couple days. So like
Mhm.
I talked to the
Okay.
manager and she was like asking me a bunch of questions about it. But like right off the bat, the manager was from like New York. So I feel like also like very different vibe.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
Oh,
she was
yeah.
very much like kind of like, not like rude, but very just like blunt and just
Yeah.
like cold about it. And she was just like, tell me this, like what's this? And she's kind of like just like I don't know. Cause also like I'm new to this, but
Yeah.
like she obviously didn't know that. But I'm
Mhm.
also just like over here like, hey, I'm just trying to figure it out over here.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
but I think so maybe she like thought I was like higher, like more experienced than I was, and so she just didn't like the answers, or I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's just-
I mean, that's obviously just something for the client and the manager to kind of go over with their
Mhm.
own relationship. I would probably be kind of pissed though if my manager turned down a movie for me.
yeah,
Like, obviously, kind of depends on what it is, but for something like this, I would have been like, no,
Yeah.
like you need to step back for a second. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You seem like you have some contradicting.
No,
Yeah.
I was just thinking because I had a similar situation.
Mhm.
I shot a movie in Atlanta, and we had our main actress that had just gotten signed to some big agency,
Mhm.
and she had such an issue with so many things that she's finally signed on to the movie. And then, like, they gave us so much crap in order to get her on the movie.
Yeah.
And then when she was on the movie, she was like, I'm going to call my agent. I'm going to call my agent. And we're like,
Oh, like
we
a classic.
literally sat down.
diva.
we literally sat down and we were like, how do we write her out of the movie? Like, literally, we're like,
That's the worst.
at the very end of the movie, because it was a small one, like really
Yeah.
small. And I went up to her and I was like, if you act this way on an actual set, you're going to get replaced. And I
Yeah.
was like, do not act like that ever again, please.
yeah,
And she finally got like the gist because she was a theater actress. And so
Oh.
I was like trying to light her, and she like thought that the lights were gonna follow her wherever she
Oh
went,
my
kind of
God.
thing.
You're like,
And I
no,
was
don't
like-
move.
Yeah, I was like, literally, you have to stop right here, and she like never would do that.
Oh my God.
And I would go up to her and I'd be like, "Do you want to be in the movie? Because you're not in the movie. Like
Yeah,
if you
like,
stand
no
over
one can
here,
see you."
literally, like I can't do this. We were shooting
Oh,
night
boy.
shoots in the middle of a hurricane in the
Oh,
forest,
great. Yeah.
and I was trying to light like one area, you know,
Yeah.
and she would just like hide behind a tree, and
You're
I'm
like,
like,
dude,
I can't
what's
help
happening
you.
right
I
now?
can't help you. And so that was the
That's
annoying
funny.
part. Was like
Yeah.
you gave us so much crap,
Yeah.
and then you're also not doing your job right.
Yeah.
And then you're giving us so much more crap while you're here
Yeah.
that I just like I would have rather not have dealt with her.
Yeah. That's
So-
also just like a different level of it. Cause like,
Yeah.
That's just poor etiquette on set.
yeah.
Well, it was
yeah.
her first feature too,
Yeah.
so I felt like she should have like come more grateful.
Yeah.
in a
just
way.
A little more humility. to
Yeah,
that,
something, or like try to learn something.
It
You
almost
know?
makes you question like who signed her, because like
Yeah,
when
it was like a
I'm-
big agency, which was what I forget what it was called, but it was a big agency, like worldwide.
Mhm.
And so she like thought she was hot shit because of it,
Yeah.
and she could have been. Like she was apparently a really good theater actress.
Yeah.
But just the attitude, it was wild. So you might be like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I haven't had that experience, which is I'm grateful for, because like it's only been, which is weird, because like I'll have bad experiences with the managers or the agents,
Mhm.
but the actors are super like nice, and I'm like,
Okay.
like, but just like these other people are terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I want you to be in the movie, but like these other people are making it so hard for you
Right.
to just be in this movie.
I mean,
that's
which is
good
weird.
then that
Yeah.
they're good, because
Yeah.
like I'm with that experience. I'm like, if your agent is giving me crap, I don't want to deal with you.
Fuck
anymore.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
No.
I don't know.
That's why I try to meet with the actor first and
Yeah.
be like, "What's the vibe there?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I'll
that's
go
smart.
from there.
That's
yeah,
smart.
I mean, of all the
Yeah.
people that I've been on set with that are signed, not a
Mhm.
single one of them has been like, let me call my agent first. Like,
Yeah.
we know, like, the agent isn't your manager. Like, there is a difference between an agent and
and
a manager.
Yeah,
If
Yeah.
anything, you would call, like, if you have a manager, yes, you can sometimes call your manager and be like,
Mhm.
hey, they're wanting, and it's only for, like, big changes. Like, hey,
Yeah.
they're wanting to change my pay. They're wanting to change how many days I'm on set. They're
Mhm.
wanting to change this. That's when it's like, okay, I need to talk to my manager to
Yeah.
figure out that.
yeah,
But as far as, like, agents, no, they're there to help book the role.
yeah.
And
Get
to
you work. Yeah,
like they're there to be the middleman between the big dogs and you, the one,
Yeah.
because the big dogs go to the agents to say, hey, I don't want 70 million submissions for this film.
yeah,
Send me 10 people on your roster that fits this thing.
Yeah.
And that's the agent's role.
Mhm.
yeah.
So if you're sitting on there, I need to call my agent. First of all,
Yeah.
your agent's going to drop you because they don't want to be bothered.
yeah.
Their whole job, like, you're not the only person on the roster.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
agent has specifically told me, do not call me unless
Don't
it
ever
is an
call me.
emergency. If it's not an emergency, like, if you can call me if it's an emergency, but otherwise, like, send me an email or something. But like,
Well, with our A-lister, we had a backup guy who had the same agent as our main guy,
Oh.
and so he was giving us a bunch of crap, or his lawyers were too.
Yeah.
And so we were like,
Jesus.
should we just go with the B
backup.
guy?
Yeah.
Like, but we were like, we can't tell the agent that we're going for the B
True.
guy.
That's
Yeah.
And so we just were
super
like,
awkward.
like he didn't sign his contract until like the day before he was supposed to be on set, and we were like, is he gonna show up? Because he could
Yeah.
literally just be like, I don't care about that kind of money, because we
Yeah.
didn't have a lot, you know. So
Yeah.
we were
That's
like,
crazy.
I don't know if he's gonna show up,
Yeah.
and he did, thankfully. But like, it was wild, and we couldn't get the B guy because. Like it was super last minute, and we had to go through like months of paperwork to even
Yeah.
get the next guy. And so we did
Yeah.
not have any time, and we were like just biting our fingers, like, please show up tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like that might be the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Dealing with like actors and contracts like that. Maybe like as a producer, like because I could for sure just like make a movie. Like I know enough people here and stuff like that. Like you said, you just like form a good team.
Yeah.
And like it's for sure doable.
Yeah.
But then when you have to deal with like outside people like that, where like I get it, like for sure as like actors, like I can get like producers probably like would try to take advantage of actors if like all those other people weren't
Right.
there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like there's a line though. Also, like be good to work with. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you're not going to have a problem with that at all. You're going to take care of everybody.
Yeah, we'll see. And then I'll
But
just be
it's-
homeless because of it. Because of it.
No, honestly,
Yeah, I'm just
that's
like,
what making a movie is. Like, literally, like, at the
Yeah.
very end of it, my director was like, I might have to take a second mortgage out on my house to finish this movie.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
at the same
It's
time,
wild.
like, when you treat people good right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna come right back to you. It's
Mhm.
like the
Yeah.
people that you're like, the people that are growing their careers with you,
Mhm.
it's like the whole like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Like,
Yeah,
you take care of
100%.
me.
Mhm.
Like I know, I don't personally know, but I've seen so many actors that are like, there are certain directors. I don't even have to get this. Like it was who is it? Tom Hanks, I think, or
Mhm.
no, it wasn't Tom Hanks. I can't remember exactly who was it. Tom Hanks. Bill Murray. That's who it
Uh-huh.
was. Bill Murray. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast,
Mhm.
and he literally said like, there is these two directors. If
Yeah.
they call me, it's an immediate yes. I
Yeah.
don't even have to think about
Right.
it
Yeah.
because I
You
know
trust
how
them.
I
Yeah.
know how they work. I know how good their work is. I know it's going to be a good set.
Yeah.
Versus everyone else, like I
Yeah,
have to
you
read
got
the
some
script.
questions first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I've heard that from so many other
Yeah.
so many other big actors that are like
Yeah.
Creed
Well,
guy.
Michael
I'm
B.
not gonna
Jordan.
know.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
Mhm.
Same thing with
You're
him.
like, I don't know.
There's the director that put him in Creed and stuff. Now he's at the point where it's like
yeah.
this director calls, you know, you have a job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no
I feel like
negotiation.
people think that about Nolan too. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
anything they're just like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care what it is. I'm
So
in.
true.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
just so cool. Yeah.
it's cool that when you get to that point as a director too, because it's like any actor who like, if there's an upcoming actor like Timothy
Mhm.
Chalamet, even if he didn't work on a bunch of stuff with him already,
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have the knowledge to say that like, oh, if Tim Burton, Christopher Nolan, any
Yeah.
of these guys call me up,
Yeah.
Boom.
Well,
I'm working.
obviously.
Yeah.
I would do it
Dude,
too.
yeah.
I'm not even an actor,
Yeah.
and I'd be like,
Don't
absolutely.
even pay me, guys. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
totally cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I just want to be there.
yeah, I'll pay you to be in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, for real.
I mean,
That's
I
crazy.
did that for House of Dragons. I got to shadow for 2 days.
Yeah, oh,
And
yeah, you were
I,
saying- yeah.
I paid for my ticket and I paid for my entire trip to go out there
Yeah.
just so I could be there for
Yeah,
2
such
days.
a good experience.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it's amazing. I would do it. I would do it over and over and over.
Because
and
even
over.
just like in terms of like networking, like I feel like networking is so weird. Just like in terms of like events and like forced networking,
Right.
but like to just be on a set with people and just
Mm.
like get to know people like that. Like that's huge. Like,
Yeah.
just like to be around those people.
They
and, like,
treated me like I was family immediately.
awesome,
Like
yeah.
I was like, be a fly on the wall. Like don't get in the way.
Yeah,
like don't be
yeah.
in the
I'm
middle.
not here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, come sit in the middle of the room.
You were like,
next
"Oh."
to a camera operator, and I was like,
sick.
what? And they got me a chair, and I was like,
You were like,
I am
"Oh,
not
what's
supposed to be
happening?"
here.
Yeah, what's happening?
but that's just how like the
Yeah.
bigger people are. They
Yeah.
like don't care that you're there. They want you to be there and they want to
Yeah.
teach you and stuff. And that's what's really cool. I think.
well, reputations spread, and
True.
you never know whose career is going to go where,
Yeah.
and what's
That's
going to be
true.
said about certain things. Like
Yeah.
if it's like when you get huge or whatever, you're going to remember that family. You're going to
Mhm.
remember those people,
Absolutely.
and so it's like, oh, I need
Yeah.
this. And it's like, actually, I worked with this guy.
I'm taking notes, by the way, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like
yeah.
you
yeah.
know
Whatever.
who you're going to bring up versus like when I was getting in the industry, you treated me like shit. So why would I scratch your back?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like the reputation follows you wherever you're going.
100%.
Like-
For your whole life.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on set with people that like they think that they are hot shit or whatever. I'm like,
yeah.
you've been in a lot of shorts here, buddy.
Yeah.
But you, unless I've seen you on one of those Harkins posters,
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
I've
you-
definitely seen that. Yeah. On both sides too. I've seen
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of like
Yeah.
just like crew.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you're like, what? Like, why are you being weird? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, you don't know everything. What do you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
run
Yeah.
into some actors here that like it's not even on set. I'll just meet them at like some sort of event, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm sure you're in my Instagram somewhere," and I'm like,
You're like, oh.
"You mean I'm one of like the 1,000 followers
I
that you
do
have?"
that. I do that, to be honest. Because like I get so many followers like all the time that I just don't follow them back until
Yeah.
I meet them, and I feel so bad all the
Yeah.
time.
You're like,
But,
this is awkward.
Yeah, like I try to like play it off like, do you have an Instagram? And then they'll be like, I'm already following you. I'm like,
You're like sick.
I'm gonna follow
kind
you
of popular,
back.
so I don't know.
I hate it though, because I really don't mean to do that.
My
Like,
publicist runs it actually. so-
yeah, no, I'm guilty of being that way. I
Yeah.
am.
But I
It
mean,
sucks.
you also do have a little bit of status to back it up. Like, I'm not gonna try to blow smoke up your ass and be like, you deserve to do that. But you have
Yeah.
you are one of the
This is
bigger
weird.
people out here. But at the same time, it's also that's one of the reasons why like, people like Keanu Reeves
yeah.
that get the reputations they have.
Yeah.
John Cena. I was literally watching. There was
yeah.
a thing with Alan Rickman. He's like, I ran into John Cena at a store, and I was like, he's so nice. I was like pissed because he was
He's
so
so
nice
nice.
because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes me feel like shit. I'm like, those are the kind of like people that
Yeah.
are like the best.
Yeah. But again, like too, like with social media, it's so hard because there's so many people where
Right.
it's like it's hard to remember everyone if you've never met them in person.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
That's why it's so like vital. It's just like meet people in
Yeah.
person. Because then like if you meet them like after that, then you're like, oh, okay, now I'll remember you.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like you're
See,
just
that's why I
like
don't follow them until I meet them,
Yeah,
kind of thing. Because
true.
it's just like I would just have so many random people that I'm like, I don't know who you are. Like,
yeah,
I get a lot of students and stuff, and like
Mhm.
people that aren't even in Arizona, and I'm like, I'll talk to you in my DMs and stuff, but like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna follow you and like be invested in your life
Right.
until
Yeah.
I actually get to know you.
yeah,
know?
exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah, social media is weird for sure.
It
For
is,
sure.
it is,
We're
yeah.
like-
It's cool though. That's where I met my mentor. That's how I got
Yeah.
to House of Dragons. Like,
yeah,
I get a lot of work from my social media.
yeah.
I
That's
love
awesome, yeah.
and hate the impact that it has on careers. Like,
yeah,
I get jealous of actors like Johnny Depp or Leonardo DiCaprio because
Yeah.
they did grow up in the era that it was as easy as sending your headshot to a bunch of agencies or sending this
Mhm.
to casting things. Now,
yeah,
if you show up at a casting thing, you're getting cops called on you. They don't
Yeah.
want to see you.
Yeah.
They want the submissions, and you can't just like send your headshots. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, you have to email your submission, and you have to wait for this, blah blah blah.
yeah,
Like, yes, it creates more opportunity, but I also feel like there's so much more roadblocks because of the bigger opportunity.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that this casting call isn't just open to
yeah,
the people within a 10-mile radius of LA who can make it.
yeah.
It's open to the entire goddamn world now.
Yeah,
which is
literally.
It's like,
tough, yeah.
so I feel like
Yeah.
it's both.
It's tough on the
Both
like
sides of it.
production side too, because I sat in on so many like casting calls, and
Mhm.
we fought about who we should cast like
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
It was not cool.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
What are your guys' thoughts on have you seen like the little like interview with Maya Hawke where she was saying like the like a lot of like producers like what they look at is like the followers like of like the actors and stuff like that? Like, what are
Yeah.
you guys'
See, I was
like-
talking
I-
about that.
what are your
Kinda,
feelings
yeah.
about that?
I was talking about that earlier.
Because as a producer, I definitely look at it sometimes for sure. So
Well,
Oh,
I
I
mean,
do all day.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
It kind of helps depict on how good something is going to do because you know that if it's down to a straw of like, oh, these are both really good actors.
yeah,
As a producer now, yeah, I will probably look into that just
Yeah.
because it's like, well, if they put it on their thing,
Yeah.
promotional wise,
Yeah.
it's going to get that
Mhm.
much more, which
for
I
sure,
see
yeah.
both sides of it because I know some amazing actors that just don't do social media. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, like,
It's a weird, yeah,
I get why you're doing it,
yeah,
but as an actor, you are your own business. And
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest ways to market yourself is by doing that. Like,
Yeah.
you will get a movie based off of follower count now. That is
Yeah.
just the way it goes. I mean,
yeah.
it's not as bad as it used to be. During the
Yeah.
pandemic, it was so
For
bad.
sure, yeah.
Like, there was
Yeah.
like Addison Rae got her own movie because she was the biggest TikToker in the world.
Mhm.
The producers and stuff didn't realize that she doesn't actually know how to act.
Yeah.
yeah,
That she just has a lot of followers, not because of acting,
yeah.
but because
But
of
all they
other-
care about is that people just watch it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, people tune in. And
I mean,
like, oh,
people
she
did.
sucks, but like they watched it though.
But
Like,
the ratings it got were so bad that
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe we need to rethink a little bit.
yeah,
and not
they're not
just
gonna watch her
cast.
again
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know she's
I mean,
terrible.
I get more jobs because of my following too.
Oh yeah,
Like people just think I'm cooler than I actually am, but
That's
just
fair, that's
because
fair.
the number is bigger than usual. Like
Yeah.
I don't have a lot, but like literally, I get more jobs because I have followers. Like
That's
it's
so
really,
interesting.
well, I've seen other
it's
actor
really
friends.
important in this day and age. I think.
Yeah.
I've seen other actor friends that like I have one buddy that he was not a big social media person at all.
Yeah.
But then his following started growing and
Yeah.
stuff, and now I've seen his career start following that growth,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's how mine
God
did.
damn it,
Mine
like, what's
started
happening
doing that too.
here?
yeah, you're like, how?
Yeah.
But it's so hard
You
because
just have to
it's-
post all the time,
yeah.
all the time.
But the algorithm changes so much; it's so hard to keep
It's
up.
just all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the algorithm's doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I hate posting. I hate.
I
do
I
too.
love going on, but yeah, I don't know. Because like Cillian Murphy, like if he was like growing up at this, like he would probably hate that. But he's
Oh,
such
yeah.
a good actor. So you're just like, like where does I don't know. But
Like-
also like I feel like upstream, like the bigger movies, like
Yeah.
it probably doesn't matter that much. Like if you have 1 million followers or like 1,000, if you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
But like lower, maybe.
Well, see, the thing is with that, those bigger movies,
Mhm.
they don't go for the little Arizona agencies. They
Mhm.
go for the top 5 agencies in the world
Yeah,
to
yeah.
cast. They go for UTA, CAA.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting what the other
Yeah,
big
yeah.
ones are, but that's where they're casting through. Those agencies are only taking people
I see what you're saying.
that
Yeah.
have those followings.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a trickle effect. Like, yes,
Yeah.
they might cast somebody right then and there that has a small following.
Yeah.
But those agencies are not going to even look at, like, they get 20 million submissions
Yeah.
a day through
Yeah.
people wanting to be actors and
Mhm.
stuff. And how are you going to stand out with that? It's like, well, I'm on TikTok, I have 2 million. On Instagram, I have 5
Yeah.
million.
Yeah.
On this, I have this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're doing the right thing though, because making your own really cinematic stories in order to showcase your
Yeah.
acting skills is
Mhm.
what's going to get you attention. Because if you're just doing like a bunch of stupid short films like that nobody's really doing well
Right.
about,
Yeah.
and like you're making actual
Yeah.
cinematic stuff that looks really good, like
Yeah.
that's going to make you stand out. And so like the more and more you do and put out, the
Yeah.
more often
Yeah.
you're going to be showcased.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep doing it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I agree.
Do you
Yeah.
have-
I'm sorry. I gotta keep doing it.
Do you have
Sorry.
distribution plans for the other shorts that you did?
Not really.
Like YouTube or anything like that?
YouTube for sure. And then I
Okay.
just like made like my own like it's like a website. It's like my website that has like my acting stuff, and then like also like the produce like so that it'll have all the films
Okay.
as well as like my reels. So I'll probably put it on there and then like leave it on YouTube and stuff like that.
Are you doing like festivals or anything?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Well, I feel like it's so hard though because it's 4 of them. I'm like,
Yeah.
it adds up so quickly.
It's a
and,
lot
like
of
how
money.
expensive that gets.
Yeah.
So it'll probably just be the Gambit and Eschaton.
Mhm.
So I've already submitted them to quite a few.
Okay.
But I'm trying to also just be strategic on which ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets real expensive.
Yeah.
Real quickly. Yeah.
As long as there's some way that you're trying to get it for the public to see it,
Yeah.
that's what matters. Because something like that,
Mhm.
I just hate when something is produced and it just gets shoved under the rug
Yeah.
for nobody to see. I'm like,
I
Mhm.
literally have so many movies that I've shot that will never see the light of day.
yeah.
I don't even have the footage of it.
Really?
Yeah, I give up. I give up on it. It's been like 6 years.
Yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
so that's what I'm like because it's all, like it's so weird because after you do it, after a time, you're just like I already did that. Like
Yeah.
I'm like I don't know, like I'm on
Right.
to the next thing.
And I've
And then you're
grown
just
so
like-
much since then that I don't even want it in my reel anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Like,
like
Yeah.
this is not good
yeah,
anymore. Yeah,
it was horrible. It was good back then, but not anymore.
Yeah, I feel that. Definitely.
Well, Anthony, I'm so excited to see where your career goes. I'm so excited to see what comes out of Gambit, what comes
Mhm.
out of all these other films that you have coming.
Mhm.
You seem like you have such a big career, and I'm happy that we're able to get you before you
Honestly,
blow up. and stuff.
honestly, I'm
Thank you,
gonna
guys.
follow you
Yeah.
for life.
No, thank you guys. I love you guys. So thank you so
So-
much. You guys are the best. So appreciate it.
Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to make sure kind of gets said, or anything that you want to like promote or anything like that?
Not really. I do like how like a lot of like now like recently like, a lot of people are talking like trying to get people to like get back into the movies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like a lot of the Oscar speeches were about that. Like I love the theater, so
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I don't know if anything, just try to go see more movies.
Yeah, in the theaters.
Yeah.
There we
the
go.
Theaters.
Sick. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
Perfect.
what I'm passionate about.
Yes.
Really. But yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, if people are interested in either seeing your stuff or hitting you up for work, whether it's acting or producing, how can they find you?
On Instagram, my handle is Anthony Quintana 21, and then I have a website, and it's just AnthonyQuintanaFilms.com.
Perfect.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I cannot wait. I love you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you
me
so
too.
much
Yes,
for
thank you
coming on
guys.
here.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't wait to have you on again here soon.
Honestly.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you
Yay.
guys.